says yes, David Williams. Stand up, Ollie Walsh. Your team captain, Jason Manford. And facing them tonight, king of the road, Jeremy Clarkson. Tonight, he's hired from The Apprentice, James McQuillan. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 32% of women believe it's possible to communicate with the dead? So don't bother trying to kill yourself, she'll still be rabbiting on. In the UK, trousers cause twice as many accidents as chainsaws, which is true. I've had a lot of accidents in my trousers. A female mackerel lays 500,000 eggs at any one time. Slag. And 9% of cat owners claim their cat had a say in their choice of partner, and that choice of partner was not to have one. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panelist job to guess the British public's top 5 most talked about things this week. Sean, what do you think the nation have been talking about?
The Apprentice.
The Apprentice?
The Apprentice. It was the final of The Apprentice and Alan Sugar decided, finally, to give someone a job in his empire. Which I don't think is an empire. I think it's like a Greek island. I think he does everything. I think you go into his offices, he's dressed in a wig, and he goes, "Oh, Mr. Sugar, I'll see you now." And he goes on with runs into the boardroom, sits there, is going, "Come in, sit down. Tea or coffee?" They go, "Tea." And he goes, "Hold on a sec." And he goes, "No." Because I've never come across any kind of Amstrad or Sugar Enterprises in any part of
Have you not got a Faxophone 3000? No. The Faxophone 3000 they use, it's brilliant. It's like a MIDI hi-fi system with a fax.
It's like someone sellotapes a sort of flask to a banjo or something like that.
Just baffle me how he is so rich when... What is Amstrad? I mean, I had an Amstrad CPC 464 when I was 12.
Is that the one with the green writing?
Green screen,
yes.
and it loaded games off tapes. That was the system. And he's now a millionaire. He must own actual sugar.
James, do you think the right person won?
Yes, I think Yasmina was right to win, yeah.
The prize on this, Yasmina's prize, she won a job at a digital signage firm.
Yeah,
now,
that's
I
right.
don't know much about digital signage, but is it that?
She is selling digital telly things with stuff on.
Wow.
You'd be good in that job because you know all the lingo.
That's right, yeah.
Why didn't he pick Kate?
Did Kate lose because she's got a Birmingham accent? Because that's why I would have said no. I work with Richard Hammond. When he's had a drink, he becomes fully Birmingham, and it's just intolerable noise. Does Sir Alan make you call him Sir Alan?
No one actually tells you that you do it. It's like, it might not be his real name, just...
But why didn't you call him...
His name's not Shirley, it's Sir Alan.
And I just found it all too fascinating, The Apprentice, because as far as I can work out, all you actually do in there is spend 10% of your time doing something and then 90% working out who to blame when it goes wrong.
That's it, you have to kind
And Alan Sugar, you notice this, Alan Sugar, how cross he gets, because one team's made £8 and the other team's lost by 25 pence. But is it like that? And then what's that, Margaret?
Let him speak!
It's like talking to an 8-year-old, isn't it? Come on,
Is it like that? Let him speak!
Why does he get so cross about 25p?
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, why did he get so cross?
God almighty!
Answer!
He hasn't made 800-odd million through, you know, look after the pennies and the 800 millions look after themselves.
It's that kind of homespun wisdom that lost you the whole thing.
Yeah. You know, one thing I've picked up, actually, from watching it on the telly, I've just realised how bad my posture is. It's like I'm a prawn, like a jumbo prawn.
That's the main thing you've learned from that experience.
But you are massive.
How big are you, James? How big are you?
That's the question we're after.
There's a lot of big boys on that team. I want to know who's the biggest. Let's get you and Clarkson back to back. Come on, let's get you back to back. Well, let's see it.
We're not going to get that this time.
Come on, then. James, back to back.
He just said...
Just don't argue with me. Back to back, back to back. James is bigger!
Well,
James is bigger!
Yes!
Let's have a look and see whether The Apprentice is one of the most talked about things this week. Course. Yes, it was the final of The Apprentice. I don't pretend to know much about business, but after watching Yasmina and Kate carefully analysing their business decisions and leadership qualities, I simply can't understand why Sir Alan didn't hire the pretty one. Sir Alan's been asked to sign on as the government's enterprise czar. James has been asked to sign on. OK, Jason, Holly and David, what else of the nation are we talking about?
Well, it's got to be the
European elections, isn't it?
yeah.
Got to be the European elections, isn't it, Jimmy?
No, it's just the BNP going over there taking all their jobs. It's,
Yeah.
it's pretty simple.
Someone threw an egg at him, didn't they?
Was it a British hen that laid the egg? Do we know?
It was a brown egg that was thrown, and that's what hurt.
I don't understand why the BNP even want to be, you know, in the European Parliament, because they're always going to be sat next to foreigners, aren't they, all the time? Unless that might cure them. They go over there and go, actually, it's quite nice, and the people are really friendly. Oh, what's that? Oh, croissant. I'm no longer a racist.
There's no difference to UKIP. All UKIP have got is we don't like Europe.
Yeah.
So people who vote for them vote for UKIP and say, oh, we don't like Europe. But it's kind of pointless, UKIP going there, because they don't like Europe. It's a bit like going to someone's birthday party who you hate, refusing to sing happy birthday, eating all the cake and then going, this is a shit party.
Then did you see the size of the voting paper for it?
Yeah, it's long.
It was like a piece of bog roll. It just stretched it all the way across the floor.
I just crossed all of them out and just put Hamas. They'll sort this borough out.
OK, let's have a look and see whether the European elections is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, of course. Yes, the European election results were out this week. The BNP has complained of media bias, which is fair enough. You're not even allowed to describe the BNP leader on television till after the watershed, and even then they sometimes bleep the word Sean, Jeremy and James, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it Gordon Ramsay's been making friends in Australia? Well, he was actually being told off by the Australian Prime Minister, wasn't he? He was called the lowest form of life. Because he called a TV presenter a pig. He said she was a pig-faced woman. And I thought it's quite ironic, him calling someone a pig when his face looks like crackling. Burnt crackling.
One of the things she said was that he called her a lesbian pig, and he's gone, I never called her a lesbian. And he's been...
This is the picture that he put up. And in fairness to him, she does look a little bit like a pig in that.
Yeah. He's probably got a recipe that said, while the jus is reducing, you can Photoshop a woman to look like a six-titted pig. If so, you did an interview, you've done lots of interviews, haven't you, Jeremy?
Yeah.
You've never thought the next day thinking, I know what I'm going to do, I'm going to mock them up looking like a six-titted pig. Even if you've thought about it, you haven't bothered to do it.
I sort of feel a bit sorry for Gordon. When the Daily Mail demands an apology, you know, we demand an apology. So he then goes on the television, which he did, and said, I'm very sorry. And now we demand more.
They called his apology snivelling.
Yes, snivelling.
So they
apology.
demanded an apology, he apologised, and then they went, snivelling apology. Yeah. Well, he can't win then, can he?
What they want you to do is stand outside the Daily Mail offices with a cheese grater just rubbing your face off. Like that.
I think you'll find Gordon Ramsay's already done that. Have you not seen the effect?
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. How can he go around delivering, you know, insults about how people look? He makes Ronnie Wood look like Hannah Montana, doesn't he? When he shuts his eyes, it's like someone's put a chef's hat on a walnut.
What I can tell you, it's not one of the most talked about things this week. This is the story that Gordon Ramsay has insulted an Australian TV presenter. The general rule is when you're accused of being insensitive towards women by an Australian, you've got problems. All right, what else have the nation been talking about? Jason's team?
Is it Big Brother? Everybody in the country must have been on Big Brother by now. It's going to be like jury service. That's how it's going to work. You just come down and you'll find a letter and you'll be like, oh, great, I've got to take 2 weeks off work to be in Big Brother.
You know Lisa? The lesbian lady.
Is she a lesbian?
Yeah,
The one with the Mohican?
Yeah.
And the big...
She'd be sat there. She'd be sat there like this. She'd be sat there like this. She'd go, don't get me wrong, you know, that girl's allowed. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'd maybe do them, but I wouldn't do the ginger one, but I'd do the rest. I thought, none of them are going to have sex with you, you dirty great leser. What are you talking about? You'd be lucky to have sex with the ginger one.
Charlie is, he's one of these fellows who pretends to be gay to sleep with women. It's quite annoying.
Right.
And, but he says he slept with 103 women and he's gay. I'm straight. I've not even met 103 women.
James, are you watching Big Brother?
I don't actually watch reality TV. I think it's crass, to be honest with you. I think when you see these people who just, you know, lower their standards to go on to try and... on the off chance... On the off chance...
The irony. Is he getting it?
Television was invented, wasn't it, to expand people's minds, and now we're locking them up.
Television
So
was
they-
invented to expand people's minds.
Well, not
Have
this.
you seen your show?
That was...
My genuine problem with Big Brother is I just don't think it's the right way to start the summer. I want my summer to start like a cider advert, you know, light dappled through an orchard, a girl riding a bicycle, you know, down a country lane, ducks landing on a pond. I don't want my summer to start with Chantarella has gone to the dairy room. She's really pissed off because Kiara has done a dump in her makeup bag.
Oh, my God, I missed
think-
it. Let's have a look and see whether Big Brother is one of the most talked about things this week. You're right. Yes, Big Brother is back. I was watching it and I thought they've certainly gone for older housemates this year, and there are loads of them. And then I realised I'd switched on to the D-Day celebrations by mistake. All right, 2 more things to get fingers on buzzers. What else are the nation be talking about? Jason.
Is it Gordon Brown?
He's had a bad week. Everyone's been ganging up on him.
Well, there's these rebel MPs, although they couldn't even get 100 names to get rid of him. I joined a group on Facebook that's got 1 million people to punch slow-moving people in the back of the head. Do you know what I mean?
Can you imagine that Gordon Brown's status would just be like, Gordon Brown has changed his status from Prime Minister to it's complicated?
Whatever you say about it, he's durable. He's tough. I think everywhere he goes, he should have Phil Collins with a full drum kit. And before anyone says his name, he goes... Gordon Brown.
He's got a bit wimpy, I think, in the last week. He's got a bit like, oh, I want to be a better Prime Minister. I know my weaknesses. I don't want it. He's the leader of the country. I'd like to see him walk over to David Cameron with a pool ball in a sock. Could just whack him on the head. I'm a leader. Shut up, dickhead. That's what I want.
Let's have a look and see whether Brown's tough week is one of the most talked about things. So, will Gordon Brown survive? Only time will tell. No. OK, we've got 1 more thing to get fingers on buzzers. What else have the nation been talking about? Sean?
Has it been the world record price for a footballer? Well, first Kaká, and now there's rumour that Ronaldo will cost 80 million for Real Madrid.
But it's not real money, is it? At no point does someone go, that's 79, 80... that doesn't happen.
But he's worth it, isn't he? Because he's gorgeous.
Who?
There he goes.
Kaká?
There she goes. Ronaldo.
Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Petulant, spoilt little brat.
Yeah.
Well... Have a look at a picture of Ronaldo.
He's one of those people you'd never tire of hitting them with a hammer. You'd be exhausted and think, I can't hit him anymore, and then think, no, I can! Hit him.
But I think for £80 million, a player has got to be so good he kind of renders the game pointless. To make the game worth playing, he's got to play in a sack. They put him in a sack, tied up, and he's still going round people in his sack.
Let's have a look and see whether Ronaldo's record-breaking transfer fee is one of the most talked about things. Of course it is. So that's our top 5 for this week. And in other news, Roger Federer has won his 14th Grand Slam title, but question marks about whether he's the greatest will remain until he finally accepts my challenge of 1 set, no spinny serves, and I get to use the tram lines. And the NHS faces a huge budget shortfall. There'll be cutbacks. Couples wanting IVF treatment will be told to go fuck themselves. So at the end of that round, I can tell you Sean, Jeremy and James have 2 points. Jason, David and Holly have 3 points. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. Our next round is called Pick of the Polls. Jason, David and Holly, you're to choose first. What do you like the look of?
I'd like Jeremy Clarkson, please.
OK, 22% of people think that Jeremy Clarkson should what?
Stop ruining jeans for the rest of us. You like wearing them?
How could I ruin your jeans?
No, you've ruined the wearing of jeans.
How could I possibly have done that?
Look in the mirror!
A lot of people aren't wearing green moccasins because of you.
I have got some green moccasins.
You've got them on.
No, these are olive green.
It's the worst shoe in the world.
They look like you've put your feet in some unripe bananas.
Well, let's have a look at your shoes, then.
Just a normal pair of,
No, they're a fashion statement.
Show him the other one, because the built-up one is funnier. What do you think? 22% of people think that Jeremy Clarkson should what?
Should face the facts about climate change. Yeah.
I do face the facts about climate change.
Climate change, can we use the official term? Autumn. Yeah. What it's called.
Or the even more official term, wank.
I'll give you a clue. It involves making our streets safe.
Is it he should stop going out at night and scaring women?
You should stay out of the park.
Has it become one of those fake policemen?
Oh, well, you're very close with that.
Become a policeman?
Yeah, I'm going to give you that, Jason. 22% of people think that Jeremy Clarkson should be in charge of the police force.
Oh, yeah.
Jeremy got into trouble last year for suggesting all lorry drivers murder prostitutes with hammers. I can see both sides. Sure, he shouldn't have said it, but then they shouldn't be murdering prostitutes with hammers. OK. Sean, Jeremy, James, what do you like the look of?
The runners.
OK. Well, you've chosen the marathon runners. Here's a clip to illustrate the question. Have a look at this.
After more than 140 miles, it's come down to less than 100 feet to that damn line. Yards behind, her stalker appears. It's Wendy Ingram. Their bodies were obliterated, but the spirit held firm. Welch and Ingram crawling in a battle for fourth place.
They did look like a giraffe that had just been born. Just incredible.
Well, what I didn't understand, why there was people just passing them going, I've just done the same thing, love, what are you being mental for?
OK, your question is, more patients in accident and emergency have injured themselves through exercise than alcohol.
Yes, definitely, without a question or shadow of doubt.
I injured myself throwing... I was in a park, there was a football up a tree. I picked up a cricket stump. You know, when you throw a stump into a tree and it bounces around?
Yeah, throwing a stump into a tree. What do you think I do on my days off?
And because it was a real sunny day, I couldn't see, like, where it was in the sun and stuff, and it came back and hit me, and everyone went... You know when you try and sort of style it out like you meant it, sort of thing?
You meant it.
You always did that. You meant to do that, yeah.
I actually had a groin strain playing 10-pin bowling.
You've got David's attention.
Yeah?
Tell him more about the pins.
Where did it hurt?
Right there? Just there. Well...
Was it just
no,
in the middle
much. It was more of a calf strain. Yeah. I took my little brother 10-pin bowling, and you think, how hard can it be? It'll be all right. And you go for it, and you pick up the heaviest ball, and I went for it, and just pulled the old groin, and I actually had to go to the doctors the next day, and I paid for 3 games. That was the thing that really hurt.
How many people here have injured themselves drinking?
Yeah, loads.
What have you ever injured yourself with drinking?
Fallen down, I got my jaw broken.
By who?
By the bloke who ran the pub.
Technically not a drinking injury, that's more a violence-related thing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have been there if I had been drinking. No. I wouldn't have been singing that song.
More patients in accident and emergency have injured themselves through exercise than alcohol. Is it true or false?
Whenever you go to casualty, you always see kids with, like, cricket balls sticking out their heads and stuff, so it's...
Always.
More than you see piss heads, yeah.
OK, so you're going for true, you're going for...
Oh, well, we'll go for false, then why not?
OK, I can tell you the answer is false. Less than 1% of patients in A&E have injured themselves exercising, but an incredible 40% of A&E patients have injured themselves because of alcohol. It's a pain in the arse waiting in A&E. That's because you've got a Hoover stuck up there. So at the end of that round, it's 2 points for Sean's team and 5 points for Jason's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Top household convenience drivers would like in their car.
How about replacing the electric windows with sash windows?
And having a window box on the bonnet.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Got some
Little
nice
flowers,
flowers,
yeah,
and a
grow
few
your own.
petunias.
Yeah.
You know, like, using your mobiles illegal? What about a landline?
That's a great idea.
That is thinking.
An ejector seat like the one I've got in my bedroom.
You've got an ejector seat in the bedroom.
Yeah, I say it'll be very nice, but off you go. But I reckon a fridge.
That's the right answer.
That's basically what an ice cream van is, though.
That is an ice cream van,
But you're saying it. What am I saying?
Yes, the top household convenience drivers would like in their car is a fridge. You can get a car with a fridge and a TV and a sink. It's called a caravan, and if you buy one, he'll blow it up. OK, next one. Biggest cause of anger in Britain.
I tell you what winds me up. Oh, it makes me absolutely... You know when it's a windy day and it's raining and your umbrella ends up going like that?
Is it badly organised anger management classes?
It is when somebody comes out of a petrol station and then takes 15 minutes to get out of your way. You were talking about being allowed to punch people in the back of the head for dawdling. I would rake them with machine gun fire if I were What do they do for the next 15 minutes before moving away?
Normally, I think they're sitting there going, that Clarkson's behind me. Biggest cause of anger in Britain.
Is it the ratio of steak to kidney in most steak and kidney pies?
Yeah.
Very rarely do they get it right. You always go, oh, that's 2 kidneys. Or you go, where's the kidney? I didn't buy a steak pie. And then the wind picks up and your umbrella goes, you go, what a day!
OK, so biggest cause of anger in Britain.
Is it when you're in a supermarket and you've bought loads of shopping and the woman says, do you want some bags? And you're like, what? You know, I've got clown's trousers, I'll just whack it in my pocket.
It's a very British thing.
Queuing. People jumping the queue.
Oh, I know.
Correct.
Oh, no, it's that.
Yes, the biggest cause of anger in Britain is queue jumping. Here's a tip. If you're in the supermarket and there's a massive queue and you've only got a few items, get to the back, no one cares. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Jeremy and James have a pitiful 2 points. Jason, David and Holly have one with 7 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
On 8 out of 10 Cats, she's out of the kitchen, Claudia Winkleman. Stand Up, Mark Watson. And their team captain, Jason Manford. And facing them tonight, so good they named her once, Jamelia. Comedy Pixie, Josie Long. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, Italians drink 14 billion espressos every year? It's amazing they're as lazy as they are. A hedgehog's heart beats 300 times a minute. Is there a car coming? Is there a car coming? Shit, there's a car coming. And 18% of men admit not noticing if a girl changes her hairstyle. I should explain to those men that a girl's hair is part of the blur above where her breasts are. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panelist job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Jason, what have the nation been talking about?
It's got to be the Iran elections. What's his name? Where's my dinner, Dad?
That's a particularly northern take on that.
Is that not what his name is?
Ahmadinejad.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's basically cheated, hasn't he? He's come in, he's now the boss, and they're saying he shouldn't be. It should be the other fella.
But also, there's a letter that's been going around. Musavi said that there's a proper letter that proves that he had won, but now people don't know whether it's
Well, you know what they should do? They should put it to the vote.
Iran does sound like a weird country. Imagine being able to choose your Prime Minister.
Musavi should have done what that little girl did on Britain's Got Talent. You know, when she got her song wrong.
Yeah.
He should have gone on Iranian television and just gone, I should have won. And the Ayatollah should have gone, we don't know where we'll find it, but we'll find the time to have another re-election. Thank you.
I have sort of problems with Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, right? Because I totally disagree with pretty much everything he stands for, but he's a bit good-looking, and so it's like if you're reading the newspaper and then you see a picture of a really sexy rapist, and you're like... It's like, no, but you're like, oh.
In all honesty, I don't really get this Iranian election thing. I mean, I get that the guy cheated and all of that, but I just got something on Twitter. I remember, so once it's on Twitter, it must be serious, I think.
They've cut off the mobile phone, so you can't text or call in Iran at the moment because they're worried about the protesting. So everyone went on Twitter. And it actually became kind of a force for good rather than celebrity tittle-tattle for the day.
They've blocked Facebook as well, haven't they? They're not allowed to go on Facebook, because Ahmadinejad accidentally put as his status is rigging the election, LOL.
I mean, I obviously don't follow Twitter.
You don't know what you're missing.
Where I live, there's a butcher's shop, and if I want to leave messages to any friends, I'll just walk up to it and I just huff on the window and write something there. And then if anyone wants to see it, they can just walk past and go, oh, Sean's got a big cock.
OK, let's see if the Iranian elections is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, it is. Yes, this is the story that Ahmadinejad has claimed victory in the Iranian presidential election, the European Parliament, Junior MasterChef and Britain's Got Talent. Sean, Jamelia and Josie, what have the nation been talking about this week?
Madonna's been at it again. She's adopted another child, which is fantastic news for everybody. It is odd. It is odd she's able to adopt. She couldn't obviously adopt here because she's a single 50-year-old mother of 3 who works nights dancing in her pants.
If I could get adopted, I would get adopted by Billy Bragg. That's like my dream person to adopt me. If he's out there, just... I make no trouble. Yeah, I've got parents. They're great.
Will they be watching this? Going, what, we haven't written enough protest songs? What do you want, love?
I would choose Adam Woodyard.
Wow, people
He's
have
my
actually got
favourite celebrity. I interviewed him once. He's #1, smiley. #2, charming.
This is Ian Beale we're talking about here.
#3...
She wants Ian Beale to be her dad.
He just seems... he's very friendly.
They're slagging Madonna off in the paper, but she's going to make this child's life better. I mean, I'm from Manchester, and I'm doing all right for myself, but even she would make my life better, you know, so...
Yeah, if Madonna offered to adopt me, even at this point, I'd consider it.
I'd say so.
Yeah. She's probably got things like a jacuzzi.
I wouldn't want to be adopted by Madonna, because, I mean, you would never see her, would you? I probably would see as much of Madonna as this little girl. Apparently they're going to teach her English because she only knows hello and goodbye. That's all she needs. She goes, hello, Madonna. Oh, goodbye, Madonna. She's got a tannoy in her gym. She's on her exercise bike. She's going, good night, kids. I love you. It's Madonna, by the way.
Let's have a look and see whether Madonna adopting a baby is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, this is the story that Madonna has adopted a second Malawian child. Already, Madonna's visit has passed into Malawian legend, specifically the legend of the scrawny witch that swoops down from the skies and steals children. Madonna had a very difficult delivery. She wasn't in and had to go down to the sorting office to pick it up. Jason, Mark and Claudia, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it Big Brother? It's the 10th series now, and I've always been a fan of Big Brother, but there's been a few points where I think even the voiceover bloke sounds like he's getting a bit bored. Yeah. So one day I just want to turn it on and go, dear whatever it is in the Big Brother house. Yeah. One of them has said something that's upset the other one, but the other ones don't care.
Here's the thing, Davina, brilliant. The house, brilliant.
Who's your favourite housemate?
Well, then
the
problem is, then they fill the nice, lovely house with the cool sofa and the, oh, you can come over here and make a smoothie with twats.
Sorry, Shri is not a twat. No. Shri is amazing. He's obsessed by this girl. He's obsessed by Noreen. He's in the same house as her as he's obsessed by her, so it's come in really handy. It's a stalker's paradise.
Was he stalking her before the show? I mean, that's incredibly lucky. If you're stalking someone and you both end up in the Big Brother house.
There is some great bits in it, like when they were doing that dancing flower thing, Siavash said, oh, I wish we had a camera.
What gets me is that Big Brother, like, every year, it's like they're trying put, you know, wackier, weirder people in every year to make it more controversial. And I think that the only way, you know, it's only going to end up, you know, we're going to have, like, a killer. But no, not like an active killer, like someone who was a killer.
Well, I can tell you that Big Brother is not one of the most talked about things this week. Big Brother continues. Shri has been very touchy-feely with Noreen, who'd prefer him to be a bit more fucky-offy. Charlie, the former runner-up in Mr Gay UK, says he dreams about being in a boy band. Or having a boy band in him, he's not fussy. OK, Sean, Jamelia and Josie, what else have the nation been talking about?
Is it the British Airways? They're in trouble. They're in trouble. They've asked their staff to take a cut. In fact, apparently last month they lost 401 million. I'm not sure whether that's pounds or suitcases. But, they've actually asked their staff to work for a month for free. They've asked pilots to take a 2.6% pay cut.
If I was a pilot, I would take a pay cut on the condition that I could fly a bit worse.
Yeah.
Just like a bit worse. So I'd be doing fine and then just... fine.
I'd land short of the destination. That's what I'd do. 2.6% short of the destination.
I think Ryanair are actually ahead of you here.
The CEO says that he won't take his salary in July. Do you know how much his salary is just for July?
60 grand, isn't it?
£61,000. So, like, what I love is it's fine for him not to take it. I'll still have small men just licking my chin if I feel like it. And everybody else...
That is one of life's luxuries, to be fair. I heard that it's part of the unemployment figures, isn't it? The job centre and stuff are saying there's too many people applying for too fewer jobs, basically.
Yeah, well, this is part of the bigger story. There are over 2 million people unemployed in Britain.
Yeah.
But also, there's some statistic. I think McDonald's have turned down loads of people, but are still managing to employ, explain this to me, 140 people per day.
Yes, McDonald's receive 2,200 job applications every day.
McDonald's could easily employ loads more people by employing somebody to go on the second window at the drive-thru.
Yes.
There's nobody ever on that second window. First window, you pay your money. The last window, you collect the food. Why is there a second window? I always want to see Ronald McDonald on his fag break, just sat in there. Right, mate. See that Colonel? Tell him he's a prick.
Let's have a look and see if BA's pay cut and the unemployment problem is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, new unemployment figures were revealed this week. Gordon Brown is very worried that unemployment figures will rise again next year. They will, Gordon, by at least 1. OK, fingers on buzzers. What else have the nation been talking about?
That bloke that sneaked onto a bus and got
yeah.
into Sandhurst.
Yes.
He's an illegal immigrant, and he sneaked in by hiding by a toilet in an army bus.
From Calais to Sandhurst for like 4 hours or whatever.
He was going to do it on a megabus, but he thought, I'm not that desperate.
I think he's from Afghanistan, isn't he?
Yes.
And he's on the Sandhurst... I didn't realise we had a Sandhurst bus. Were they out on a trip?
He'd hid in the toilet stairwell for like 4 hours, and then I thought, none of them went to the toilet in that whole time. Over 4 hours, the journey.
You know what he probably did? Was because they're officers, aren't they? He probably stood in the toilet with a bit of aftershave and a few mints. When they went down, said, would you like some aftershave, sir? Like a mint? They probably thought, oh, they probably have this in those toilets, don't they?
I presume this is what happened. There's loads of buses, loads of coaches, and he's gone, I'll get on that one, that's going to England, I'll sneak in the toilet there. And then he's got on it, and then he's looked up, and everybody's in the army, they're all in uniform. He must have been like, shit. He must be like the Afghan Mr. Bean, this bloke.
Let's have a look whether the stowaway from Afghanistan is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, an Afghan stowaway got into Britain by hiding on a coach bound for Sandhurst. The stowaway was spotted by one soldier, but at the end of the journey, none of the others had guessed what he'd spied with his little eye, beginning with an A. OK, one more thing to get fingers on buzzers.
I think it's the girl who said, yes, I'd like to be in the cabinet, called Kitty.
So this is Kitty Usher.
Yeah, so she, brand new to the cabinet, was brought in, don't worry, this one, clean as a whistle, lovely, flipped her house, saved 17 grand, didn't think she'd bring it up during the interview. 10 days in, Telegraph, hello, we're gonna report what you've done. She resigns, but says it's not because of the 17 grand saving, it's because she can't do that job and be a mum.
That's exactly the story. Amazing. Fair play to you. Yeah, that was good.
You've nailed that.
I just think, like, if you're a politician and you've got... Maybe it's because I'm from Birmingham, I don't know. But if I've got access to all this free money, I'd probably fiddle.
That is because you're from Birmingham, yeah.
Are they actually taking anyone's personal money?
Yes, ours.
Yeah, ours.
I don't think you've ever paid any tax, Jamelia,
Yes,
but
I have,
you
yeah.
ever wondered where that goes? Kitty Usher's back pocket.
The other thing I think is interesting about this was the fact that some of the claims were outrageous. People got very upset about them. There was the moat, which I thought was incredible, just claiming for a moat. How the look on the guy's face when he put that receipt in, he said, what's this? It's a moat. Remote? No, it's just a moat. Just a moat. And that's on his second home. If your second home is a castle, what's your first home? Like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory?
How can you be representing the people in your constituency if there's a bloody great ditch between you and them?
Well, hopefully they'll turn it from a luxury into a necessity in the coming weeks. Yeah. They march towards it with pitchforks.
I was disappointed with some of the amounts. Like, fair play to Kitty Usher. At least she went for it. 17 grand. If you're going to fiddle it properly. Not these people who went, oh, I got 75p back for a Scotch egg. You know what I mean?
One good thing that comes out of this, if you're walking down the street and you see an MP with a Kit Kat, you're entitled to just go off and break off a bit. I paid for this. Yeah, this is for the finger. Even better with a pepper army because you can bend it over and then go. Too hot.
Well, let's have a look and see whether Kitty Usher's resignation is one of the most talked about things. Yes, this is the story. Treasury Minister Kitty Usher has resigned after being caught up in the expenses scandal. People shouldn't feel sorry for Kitty. She always lands on her feet. So those are the most talked about stories this week. And in other news, Andy Murray has won at Queen's Club. Andy Murray has such a warm, friendly, likeable personality that it must have been a difficult choice for him whether to pursue a career with a tennis racket or an abattoir bolt gun. And good news for Peter Andre. He's landed a Bollywood movie deal. He's going to be selling ice creams in the Mumbai Odeon. So at the end of that round, Sean, Jamelia and Josie have 2 points. Jason, Claudia and Mark have 3 points. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. Our next round is called Pick of the Polls. Jason, Claudia and Mark, what do you like the look of?
That naked man being rubbed.
You've chosen the man being massaged. Now, here is a clip to illustrate the question.
Oh. Now, you've heard of a Swedish massage and a nice, gentle aromatherapy massage, but have you ever heard of the river dance massage? Well, that's what we're going to do this morning.
terrifying.
It really is, isn't it? If you're watching in Ireland, you should be ashamed.
Does it only work on dead people?
I actually played his arse cheeks like a bongo at the end.
OK, the question is, 52% of people would be willing to give a full-body massage to their best friend. True or false?
Depends who your best friend is, doesn't it? If your best
Yes,
friend's...
I think
you know.
yes. If your best friend goes, oh, I'm so achy,
Who's your best friend? Claudia, who's your best friend?
Vicky. And if she was very achy and she lied down, took her clothes off,
Yeah.
bring out the oils.
Oh, I haven't even thought of oils. Well done.
I definitely wouldn't let a friend do acupuncture on me.
The mistake with the full body, and you only make it once, is when they say, get undressed, and you do.
They don't actually mean...
They mean keep your boxers on. They actually mean... They don't say it, but... And I would say to anyone going for one, make sure you leave your boxers on, because if you're supposed to take them off, that's less embarrassing than if you're supposed to leave them on, isn't it? Yeah. Somebody walks in and goes, oh, you're supposed to take them off. You go, all right, what am I like? If you've got them off, they go, security.
OK, so what are you going to go for, true or false?
It depends how many men were asked, of course, but I think it's... You think true?
I think it could be true, to be honest.
Do you both think true? I think I'm going to overrule and say false.
But you're the captain. You're the captain.
I very rarely do it, guys, but I'm doing it this time.
OK, well, I can tell you the answer is true. Yes, 52% of people would be willing to give a full-body massage to their best friend. Unlucky Jason. My best friend gave me a full-body massage, and the only thing weird about it is the fact that my best friend is a transsexual Estonian hooker working out of a hotel in Gatwick. Sean, Josie and Jamelia, what do you like the look of?
Birmingham's got to be. And it better not be anything bad.
No, it's nothing bad about Birmingham.
Well, what's going to happen if it is? What are you going to do?
I'm going to
You're
beat
gonna
him
attack
up. Yeah, I'm going to attack him.
Let's pick Birmingham and hope it's bad.
Birmingham is a shithole. Why? No, it's not that. You've chosen Birmingham. OK. 25% of people from the Midlands have used what to seduce someone?
Well, it's not their accent, is it?
It's probably... Let's be honest. I've used that sexy Midlands twang.
How can you say that?
How do you think people seduce?
Seduce?
How would you seduce someone? Would you wear, like, some sort of cerise boob tube? Sold.
It was such an idiot.
Yeah, it's all very funny, but you don't have to live with this sexual tension.
In Birmingham, everyone like smiles at each other and they say hello, even if you don't know each other.
You're painting Birmingham to be something that it really isn't.
It is. It
Make
really.
it sound like Venice.
I swear,
I suppose,
people do like smile at each other. But then when I first came to London, I did that, and they were kind of like looking at me like I was a weirdo.
I had the same thing, Jamelia, actually, coming down from the north. I remember getting to Euston, and there was a fella reading, I think it was Da Vinci Code at the time. It was before it, kicked off into the big success, and I sort of wandered over and I said, oh, is it any good, that? I've been fancying read it. He looked at me like I went, hey, mate, can I have a little tickle of your bollocks? Is that...
Singing? It's not singing.
Is it hover boots? You comments, oh, look at me!
I'll give you a clue. It's something that I would associate with doing with your family.
Oh, Pictionary.
I'll give you that.
Ooh,
I'll give you that.
Amazing.
What? No, I'll give you that.
Really? It's Pictionary?
25% of people from the Midlands have used a board game to seduce someone.
That's amazing.
I think the idea of that is that you get someone so bored that they go, oh, go on, have a crack. Other successful seduction techniques in the West Midlands include wearing trousers, having a van with its own mattress, and not having sick down your shirt. So at the end of that round, it's 2 points for Sean's team and 4 points to Jason's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Top thing we learn from our dads.
It's mostly sayings. My dad, I think that's what most people learn from their dads. Very, like, you say, you can't make an omelette. Very pessimistic man, my dad.
How to read? My dad taught me how to read by reading Benji the Squirrel.
You can't read.
Only just.
Benji the Squirrel.
Benji the Squirrel.
Go on, prove it. What happens in the end?
OK, well, he gets the nut.
Is it not... No matter what time I get up, it'll always be afternoon? Like, no matter what time, you'll always be after your dad. It'll be like, afternoon, son.
Yeah.
Afternoon.
Even at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's like, it's half eight, Dad. Afternoon. I've only been to the shop, got the papers.
I remember when I was about 12 or 13, friends are very important to you, and my dad had 4 kids, whatever. I remember thinking, you never see his friends, because he's just busy, he's working busy. I said to him, Dad, where are all your friends? He said, well, they're doing exactly the same as me. He said they're sitting down after a hard day's work, having a whiskey and answering stupid questions.
Top thing we learned from our dads. I think it's quite an obvious one. Go on, have a...
Is it DIY?
Correct, the right answer. Yes, the top thing we learned from our dads is DIY. Every Sunday morning you could hear my dad banging away in vain, trying to coax some life out of the old boiler. And then he'd give up, go upstairs and fuck my mum. Women's dream way to be proposed to.
I think girls like to be proposed to in bed.
No.
In bed? After I just apologise and try and move on.
No, I think almost during.
During?
Hello.
Wow. Really? I haven't got time.
Is it on Trisha? That's my dream way. Because then you can ask for a DNA test straight away. And you can ask for, like, a lie detector and all that.
But if you're proposing to someone, a DNA test would be to find out whether they're the same species.
Is it outside Yates's? and you're holding her hair as she's having a little bit of a sick. Again, there's some places in Manchester where if you did that, you'd be quite the David Niven.
I didn't take any risks when I proposed. I put a note up the cat's arse. And when it went into the kitchen, I thought she'd go, what's that in the cat's arse? Will you marry? It's a bit smudged here.
I like the way that my husband proposed to me. Like, he proposed in front of people. I honestly think I probably would have said no if it was just like me and him. I'm going to actually try and answer the question. I'm just thinking, like, girly girls, probably, like, on bended knee at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
I'll give you that for the Paris, because women's dream way to be proposed to is actually on a romantic holiday. I thought it would be romantic to take my girlfriend back to where we first met, but she said, "Don't make me go back there, Mr. Jimmy. I cook, I clean, I'll be better." Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Jamelia and Josie have 4 points, Jason, Claudia and Mark have 4 points. It's a dead heat. Everyone's a winner. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
David Walliam. Who are you gonna call? Yvette Fielding. And their team captain, John Locke. And facing them tonight, relocate, it's Phil Spencer. The big mouth from the deep south, Reginald D. Hunter. And their team captain, Jason Manford. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
And welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, if you stroke a cat 70 million times, you develop enough static electricity to light a 60-watt bulb? It also explains Susan Boyle's hair. 31% of taxi drivers don't take a break whilst at work. You'd think that would make them cranky and opinionated. And a teaspoon contains 120 drops of water. That's according to research by Professor, probably, from the University of... Yeah, I reckon. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panelist's job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Jason's team, you're to guess first. What do you think people might have been talking about this week?
It's the untimely death of Molly Sugden. Who saw that coming? Who else is that?
Jimmy.
Is it...
Jimmy. He had his chance.
Yes, David, what?
Have you heard Michael Jackson is dead?
Yes.
Yes.
I heard.
People have been talking about it because he's a controversial figure. I mean, if it's wrong to share your bed with 13-year-old boys, then lock me up and throw away the key.
I just thought the coverage, like the night he died on Thursday, was it Thursday when it happened?
Thursday, yeah.
I mean, I sat there all night just flipping channels between BBC, Sky News, just trying to see how many different ways you can say Michael Jackson is dead. There was this lady on BBC News, and she said, Michael Jackson, King of Pop, dead at 50. We go back live to Los Angeles for an update. He dead! He's still dead!
The saddest thing is about 10 minutes after his death, you get about 100 text messages from people you've not even seen them for 15 years. And you're like, who's sat there at 1:30 in the morning thinking, I've not seen Jason for 12 years, I might send him a gag about a dead celebrity 12 minutes ago.
People say things like he's entrusted his kids. Well, apparently they're not really his kids. He's not the biological father. Which actually wasn't difficult to work out. They look like they're related to the Swedish royal family.
Do you know their names?
Prince Michael. 1, 2 and 3.
No. What are your children called?
I'm not going to tell you my names of my children.
Why not?
I don't want you freaking them out as well. Poking your head over the fence going, hello.
Are you sad about it?
For me, it's a little bit like when Diana died. I couldn't give a fuck. The audience, how do you feel? Are you good? You feel sad? No, it's a weird one. A few of you, yes. Now, I read in the paper the big story, the real tragedy around Michael Jackson's death was the fact you were looking for a house and you lost out on the deposit.
Yeah, there's an element of truth in that, yeah.
So did you find him a house?
He was actually found 3 houses. And this is perhaps why I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, yeah. Is he living in one?
Because... just a little bit. He was due to he was due to choose one of the houses this week.
So what was he looking for? Was it a flat?
Fairground, isn't it? Has it got an ensuite? Has it got a waltzer?
Well, what was he looking for?
He needed what was essentially a stately home, but it needed to have all the mod cons of a gym and a cinema and a panic room and that sort of thing.
But I think what's quite interesting is they were going to have a state funeral. People were going to go and see his coffin. What they're going to do instead of a state funeral, they're just going to dangle him out of a window for 30 seconds.
Let's have a look and see whether Michael Jackson is one of the most talked about things this week. I imagine he's right up there. Yes, indeed. I think the highest percentage we've ever had. Yes, Michael Jackson has passed away. You could tell Michael Jackson wasn't well. He hasn't looked himself since about 1984. Jason, what else have the nation been talking about?
It's been hot. Really hot. Apart from in where I live, where it's not been.
I'm from Manchester. It's been hot. Where have you been?
Yeah, but you're in, like, cold places a lot of the time. Everything's hot to you. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, that was a cold spot. You're like, no, it doesn't. You just live in Manchester.
Oh, I'm getting something here. Any thoughts on the weather, Reg?
Yeah, it's hot. Probably ain't gonna be hot all that long. And if it stays as hot as it is, you're gonna have Spanish people coming over here to have sex. So...
Wasn't there some government new system, an alert system?
There is now an official alert, yeah.
What a load of old rubbish, sorry.
As opposed to what you do.
I think the press could be more imaginative with where they cover the hot weather. They always have the same thing. They always have, like, some girls in a bikini near a beach, and then behind them they've got a graphic of a sun with the temperature, saying 32 degrees, whatever. I suppose in about 40 years' time, that little sun will have 48 degrees on it, and on the beach it'll be full of dead people. Just lying there like that.
Let's have a look and see whether the hot weather is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, it's been really hot this week. The pavements in London were hot enough to fry an egg. Yeah, I'll have mine dog shit side up. Sean, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
The Queen wants more money. She said that she wants an increase in the civil list because she hasn't got enough money. And they've said no, they're not going to give her any more money.
What's the point in having a queen if she got to ask somebody else for money? Surely, if you're the queen, you go and you get the money yourself. Like, look at this treasure chest of gold in the castle. I ain't got to ask nobody for nothing.
It's no good asking me, I don't understand it. She's on the money. All she's got to do is take a picture of herself and write £20 on it. It's done. That's money.
Or she could get sponsorship. She goes, hello, I'm the Queen, brought to you by Powergen. I'm wearing a crown because I'm worth it.
Can I ask, who's met the Queen? Who's actually met the Queen?
Me.
Well, everybody. You've not met the Queen? When?
We went to meet the Queen. I went to Buckingham Palace. I had tea with the Queen.
Well, I'll ring her up later and ask her.
When did you meet the Queen?
I have.
You have not met the Queen.
Every Tuesday, I give her trampolining lessons.
She could do. You think sometimes, just to wind Prince Charles up, when he walks in, she pretends to be dead? That's when he walks in, he goes, yes! She goes, I got
ya! Let's have a look and see whether the Queen's financial problems are one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, this is the story. The Queen has asked for an extra £7 million from the taxpayer. If the Queen is struggling to live within her means, there is a simple solution. She should book 50 nights at the O2 and then fake her own death. Fingers on buzzers. What else have the nation been talking about? Jason.
Is it that the US Army, the soldiers, they've pulled out of Iraq? They've withdrawn from Iraq, apart from the 128,000 soldiers that are going to stay there. Imagine being that. That was a good news, bad news day, wasn't it? Good news, we're leaving. Bad news, you're staying. All right.
The soldiers are withdrawing from Iraq. Yeah, go home, quick wash, straight off to Iran.
It does seem a bit weird, that, doesn't it? Finish there, that's all perfect.
That's all fine. We've brought peace and stability to that region.
There was an amazing report in the paper. They genuinely put this in the paper without any kind of sense of irony or whatever. They said Baghdad is now safer than Mogadishu. Mission accomplished. Let's have a look and see whether US soldiers leaving Iraq is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes! Yes, this is the story. The US military are pulling out of Baghdad. Fair enough, withdrawing is what you do after you fuck something. Sorry, Reg.
Yeah, I like that.
OK, fingers on buzzers. One more thing to get.
Oh. Wimbledon. Wimbledon, Jimmy.
Go on, tell me more about Wimbledon.
Wimbledon is a time when people play tennis together.
Correct.
No, but have you got into the swing of it? Because, you know, when everyone takes up tennis when Wimbledon's on, I bought some Robinsons and I'm thinking of investing in a swing ball.
They should do swing ball, shouldn't they, as well?
Yeah, it's much harder than real tennis, because the thing comes round very quickly. Also, we've got Andy Murray.
Obviously, when we're recording this, we don't know whether he's got through to the final, whether he's going to win.
Loads of people were complaining about Andy Murray. Said, oh, yeah, but I don't really like him. He's not very likeable. And I think, well, he's trying to win Wimbledon, not present this morning.
Have you been following the tennis?
I watched it the other day. I enjoyed it when they had the match on late at night with the roof. I think there's something wrong with putting a roof on Wimbledon. It's you're tampering with the very fabric and a sort of national institution that it rains at Wimbledon. It's like putting doors on Stonehenge or something like that. It's wrong. I'd like it if, as the roof closed, the ground opened up. And all the crowd fell in.
I like the grunting, though. That's where they earn their money, don't they? The grunting, which they're trying to ban.
How can you ban grunting?
Shoot them. I'm a blind bloke who normally hunts pigs. Like that, sitting there, and he hears a...
To be honest with you, I think that's a ratings winner.
It is weird when you listen it when, like, I was watching a match the other day, and I had it on Sky Plus. So I was watching it about 1 o'clock in the morning. My wife was upstairs, and she could hear grunting coming from the telly. It's like, what are you watching? I was like, just the ladies playing tennis. That's all. Like, you know what I mean? Why is there a bass guitar making some music? I don't know.
Was the lady playing tennis going, oh, yeah, big boy. Oh, oh.
Let's have a look and see whether Wimbledon's one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, it's Wimbledon. Andy Murray isn't ever going to win Wimbledon. It's the British way. We hear some good news, we get our hopes up, and then we get disappointed. It's like when we heard Margaret Thatcher was in hospital. So those are our top 5 stories this week. In other news, parole has been denied to Ronnie Biggs, the great train robber. I say great train robber. He robbed 1 train and he got caught. It's not great. And Wayne and Colleen Rooney have chosen a name for their baby. They're going to call it Wayne. Wayne chose the name. It was either that or cup or ball. So at the end of that round, Sean, David and Yvette have 3 points. Jason, Phil and Reg have 2 points. Welcome back. Our next round is called Pick of the Polls. OK, Jason, your turn first.
As we've got you, the expert, I reckon we've got this covered then, this for sale sign.
This week, estate agents are saying the property market is on the up. So we polled our studio audience and asked them, do you believe the estate agents?
I'd say that the market is on the up. Maybe for once, the estate agents are telling the truth.
It's like the boy who cried wolf, Phil. Have been such lying bastards for so long.
Do you trust them yourself? Because, I mean, you're working with them, trying to get a good deal for the people buying the house.
Yeah.
Do you trust them?
I always have to remember that they are working for the other side and they're doing their job. They're trying to sell a house for the most amount of money possible. They don't really care who they sell it to or whether it's the right house for that person.
And we moved house last year, so we walked around this house. My wife has loads of questions, like, lined up. You know, what are the schools like around here, what the neighbours like, all that sort of stuff. And then the woman who owned the house, she said to me, have you got any questions? And I sort of panicked, and I said, oh, is this house in a Domino's catchment area? Can our kids get into the best Domino's? That's what I need to know.
Are you married, Phil?
Yes, I am.
Do you remember in Heat magazine when you did an interview and the question was, have you ever been chatted up by another celeb?
Yes.
And do you know what your answer was?
Yes, very well.
What was it?
You.
When did I chat you up?
No, I was bidding for a dress.
Yes.
There was a dress that I thought my wife would look very beautiful in. Well, I heard this voice in my ear. Yeah. Go on, Phil, you look really lovely in that. And I turned round laughing, spotted you, and there was a look in your eye. I thought, actually, he wasn't joking, was he?
Did you feel my erection as well? Sean's embarrassed.
Well, you can confuse embarrassment with boredom. It's a very similar thing.
OK, so this week, estate agents are saying the property market is on the up. We polled the studio audience, we asked them, do they believe the estate agents?
No, they don't.
OK, well, I can tell you the answer is no. The majority of the audience, 56%, don't believe estate agents when they say the market is going up. Estate agents are terrible liars, or as they would put it, delightfully untruthful with a huge potential for exaggeration. Sean, David and Yvette, what do you like the look of?
The fat man on the beach.
You've chosen the people on the beach. Here is a clip to illustrate that question.
It's time for Zui King English, a new morning training program for Japanese. Zui King English is truly a revolutionary method to make your muscles learn English. Are you ready? Let's Zui King English!
Hand me your bag. Don't move! If you do, I'll kill you. What's the matter? Calm down and speak slowly.
I was loved by 2 men. I was loved by 2 men.
Where are they going on their holidays? Croydon? Here's the question. Most Brits think there's no point trying to speak a foreign language while on holiday. Is that true or false?
I agree. I think the majority of our population will probably agree with that.
So have you ever learned a language to go away anyway?
I've tried to say a few little words.
So you know the French and the Spanish for is anybody there? So what do you think? Do you think most British people think there's no point in trying to speak a foreign language while on holiday?
Well, it'd be very stupid if you go to the Isle of Wight. Nobody would understand you, would they? If you were going around the Isle of Wight, you go, "Où est le banque?" They go, "Don't you on about, mate."
Reg, have you ever learned any other languages?
Sometimes I've made up words in another language. There's a French word I made up, j'en t'ai flou.
What does j'en t'ai flou mean?
It means whatever. So, like, if someone says, you're in a restaurant and a French person says, do you want red or white wine? You go, j'en t'ai flou. When I say it to French people, you know, it catches them off guard. You know, they feel like it's a French word they don't know. And they feel embarrassed because I'm not French, yet I know it. And I say, well, maybe you ain't really French then, man.
We're good at pointing stuff. That's what we do very well. Croissant. Croissant. Put some gravy on it. We're good at that.
We've been on holiday together, haven't we, David?
Oh, yeah.
I've got a photo. Do you remember this?
I wanted to find the ugliest lady boy.
And there he is on the right.
I went with my friend Robin.
Yeah, I remember Robin,
Who is gay. My friend Robin is gay. I've got a gay friend. What of it?
That was a huge shock to all of us.
No, but we went to some straight sex shows, and he said, well, we've been to lots of straight ones. Can't we now go to a gay sex show? I went, oh, all right, then. And he took me to this show, and these men... Can I borrow you for a second? No. Phil, can I borrow you for a second? Phil, can I borrow you? No, because these men... This was all right, Phil. It's all right. These men got on the stage and they started... Phil, just bend over a little bit. And they went round to people's laps. Go, lean over, Phil. And they started bombing. Lean over, Phil. They started bombing people. I was shocked.
There's nothing you can do.
I was shocked and horrified, and I only stayed an hour.
So most Brits think there's no point trying to speak a foreign language while on holiday. True or false?
True.
Yes, true.
Jason?
It's got to be true, hasn't it?
It's got to be true.
We said true.
Yeah, but we can also say...
I know you're just copying what we've said.
Hey, man, you didn't invent the word true.
All right, then, David, we'll go false.
Yes. OK, so you're going false. I can tell you the answer is false.
Oh, yeah!
Yes, 82% of Brits think you should try to speak a foreign language while on holiday. I think it's pointless. Los pointless. No needy learning language, comprende? So, in the end of that round, it's 3 points to Sean's team and 4 points to Jason's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Best way to get the attention of someone you fancy.
Is that the answer? Is that it?
No.
No, OK.
I think the best way is to break into their car and strap yourself into one of the kids' seats. Like when they come in, you go, all right. Can you look after me?
Move your hands, because I can't get close to the buzzer, can I? You put your hands there.
You don't need to, that's their answer.
When I try to get attention to somebody I fancy, I probably do the thing British people don't know about. I talk to them. But, I mean, I don't expect y'all to know too much about that.
Not on the list, Red. What do you think? How would you get the attention?
Show me tits.
Show me your tits isn't there, but you know what? That is going to work.
Build a fun fair in your garden.
Is it become a guest panelist on a quiz show and then pretend to have anal sex with...
When I chatted up my wife, I just exaggerated a bit, like I told her I had a Passat. I didn't. I didn't even have one.
What were you driving at the time?
Citroen. It was a bit embarrassing on the way home. I was like, I can't find my Passat, let's just take the Citroen.
Is it shoot a pigeon? Flying near them. And they just chat to them, just go...
You're very close with that, Sean.
A buzzard.
It involves telling them something.
Tell them they've got nice eyes.
Nice arse.
I'm going to give you that. The answer is compliment them. Yes, the best way to get the attention of someone you fancy is to compliment them. As in, cool, you're a fast runner. You nearly got away. OK, next question. This is you'll enjoy this.
Sorry, can I get my hand near the buzzer?
No, you need to supply a written application to use the buzzer. I will send that up to the committee, and then you will get a piece of paper telling you back that it's now time and you're able to use my buzzer.
OK. Most common superstition.
If a bird shits on you, it is lucky, but you do have to take her out for dinner first.
Can't leave your shoes either. Shoes, you don't put new shoes on.
In the sea. Don't put your shoes in the sea.
No.
That's very unlucky.
On a tabletop.
Or the sea.
OK.
Yeah. Put your hands in a fire.
OK.
What about the magpies thing?
And I never know whether it's one is...
Well, it's
you've
one
got
for...
to say two.
Well, there's that one. One for sorrow, two for joy, three for... all that. I always say... I've got a new one. It's one magpie. Oh, look, it's a magpie. Two magpies. Oh, it's a couple of magpies. Three magpies. Oh, it's a lot of magpies. Four magpies. Have I left some bread out?
I'll give you a clue. It involves touching something.
Touching wood.
Oh, yes.
Correct. Right answer.
Oh.
Yes, the most common superstition in Britain is touching wood. Is there life after death? On the one hand, you've got scientists like Richard Dawkins and Stephen Hawking saying no. On the other hand, you've got Mystic Meg and Yvette Fielding saying yes. I don't know who to believe. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Jason, Phil and Reg have 4 points, Sean, David and Yvette have 5 points. They're the winners. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
On 8 out of 10 Cats, Daughter of Darkness, Kelly Osborne. He took the midnight train from Georgia, Reginald D. Hunter. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, the cream of Manchester, Harry Christian. Peep Show lady, Izzy Sooty. And their team captain, Jason Manford. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, a doner kebab pot noodle contains 22% of the recommended daily calorie intake of a recently divorced man? An octopus has 3 hearts. Perhaps that's why they're so clingy. It takes just 2 days for a T-bone steak to dissolve in a can of Coke, and I'm pretty sure that is how they make Dr. Pepper. And your mouth produces 1.8 pints of saliva every day, or half as much as Cheryl Cole's yoga instructor. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Jason.
Well, it's got to be Michael Jackson's funeral, hasn't it?
What, sorry? Is he dead? Did you watch it?
Oh, I caught the last half hour. Thought it was quite nice. I mean, everyone's been slagging it off, saying it was a bit, you know, a bit cheesy and that, but if you could have Stevie Wonder singing at your funeral, you'd have him, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd rather it was your 40th, but, you know, you'd have him, wouldn't you? The weirdest thing was all the fans. There was, like, millions of fans dressed up like Michael Jackson. Now, can you imagine being at your nana's funeral, right? Just coming out and everyone's dressed like her. You're like...
The thing that I love is how people forget about the bad stuff with the kids.
Oh, yeah!
Oh,
that.
he was nice, though. He did really good music. Just like, when anyone dies, that's always what happens. Like, this man murdered 20 prostitutes. Ah, but he was good at macrame. So...
I'll be honest with you, I think when glitter goes, people will remember the bad stuff. Kelly, did you watch it?
I thought the whole thing was a bit much, to be honest. I mean, all of his brothers wearing the glove.
Do you notice the detail of that? Because they clearly bought 5...
I know, someone told me this, I thought it was so funny. Instead of buying each one of them a right or a left-handed glove, they bought, like, 6 players and split them between 12, so some of them had them on the left hand and some of them had them on their right.
The weirdest thing I read is that they're going to put him in a concrete tomb so crazed fans can't dig him up. Who is doing that? Seriously? Who is that much of a fan? Like, hey, love, I know we missed out on tickets for the memorial service. Come in the lounge.
No, but won't his face not decompose because it's plastic?
I don't think it will. I think it'll stay pretty much as is.
Yeah, he's like a bag of nappies. 500-600 years. But I mean, the weird thing about it is it's not really the funeral, is it? It's like a sort of pre-funeral. It's like he's engaged to be dead. In a way, he said, well, we're dead, we're preparing for his deadness, but his deadness hasn't happened yet. We haven't got the full deadness, because his funeral's going to go on for ages. People are going to be making jokes about his funeral for about 2 or 3 months. It's like the death that just keeps on giving.
Reg, did you watch it?
I came in about halfway through, and first half hour, I thought it was about like some kind of music competition. And,
were you voting at home?
Yeah,
Going,
wow, it's a concert, man. I started watching it, and then they flashed on the coffin, and I'm like, oh, Michael Jackson dead.
What did you expect Simon Cowell to press a button and go,
Yeah, well, I love that Shaheen. He was on it, wasn't he?
He was going to play with Michael Jackson at the O2.
Which everything you say turns into some innuendo.
As you watch it, you could play the Michael Jackson double entendre drinking game. Every time somebody went, he touched so many people. Way!
I'm just saying, for Shaheen, I think playing with Michael Jackson for 50 dates, that would have stretched him. Have you ever met him?
Twice.
You met him twice?
First time I met him was at an MTV after party, and then the second time it was at Madison Square Gardens, and he was wheeling around Elizabeth Taylor with his pants unbuttoned and no shoes on. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The weirdest thing you've ever seen?
Yeah.
But you know what? Now that Mike's dead, a lot of stories like this gonna pop out. You know, just weird stuff that people nobody listen to, but it's just okay to say now because he's gone. You're gonna hear stories like, I was eating a hot dog one time, and he jumped out the TV. And it was the damnedest thing. It was Michael Jackson. And I'm like, Mike, what you doing here? And he's like, hee hee, and he backed out.
But there's also a thing about him saying he'd be singing in heaven with the angels. And I was thinking, if he gets into heaven, we're all going. Aren't we? And I bet you if he is going, the angels will be running around telling the cherubs to put some clothes on. I want you wearing dungarees and duffel coats, minimum.
Let's have a look and see whether Michael Jackson's one of the most talked about things this week. Of course it is. Yes. Yes, Michael Jackson's funeral took place this week. 12-year-old Britain's Got Talent finalist Shaheen Jaffagoli performed at Jackson's funeral. He raised the roof of the Staples Centre and the lid of the coffin. Go on, what else have people been talking about this week?
MI6.
Is it MI5? I don't know this.
MI6. MI6 is foreign intelligence. MI5 is home, MI4 is like parks and waterways, and MI3 is clamping.
Which one does furniture?
MFI. The head of MI6 has been put on one of those Facebook.
His wife has put him on Facebook.
And generally people think that's not great, that people know what the head of MI6 looks like in his trunks. It's a very funny picture because he's playing football on a beach like this. He's going... You can't see my legs, but it's very funny. I bet he was thinking, I wish my wife would put that other photo on where I'm going like this.
Someone said, some expert as well, said that the Taliban get 80% of their information from social networking sites like Facebook and Twitter. Really? Really?
Yeah.
140 characters.
Osama, Stephen Fry is having another bagel for breakfast. Yeah, but also, where's the harm? I mean, it's only holiday pictures. You know, what's she going to do? Like, oh, yeah, as you're flicking through, that's the one of us in the Seychelles. That was one we went down to Devon. That's the one of the inside of a nuclear submarine. Oopsie-daisy.
Well, no, it's mostly for him, because obviously he's embarrassed, but now he has to kill her. She'll just be hanging out of the washing and go, ooh.
What the hell is a woman of her age doing on Facebook when she's married anyway?
I agree with you, Kelly. I'm impressed that my mum can even turn on a computer, and I think that's the way mums should be.
Last night, my mum said to me, get this working for me. And she handed me her computer, and I said, Mum, you press power. So I leave the room and I come back, and she's still looking at it, trying to figure out how to turn it on.
Do you think whatever your dad's got is catching?
That's not just a mum thing. My brother, he's only 25. I caught him once. The computer was there. He was trying to type some stuff up, and he said, I need to print it out. And it wasn't printing out. And I was going, oh, it'll work itself out. Just connect it. And I left. I come back 10 minutes later, and he had the monitor of the thing looking at the... He turned it round to face the printer going, but he has got paper!
Let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, this is the story. The head of MI6 has had personal details published on Facebook. Of course, the Russians are years behind in their technology. They're still using Friends Reunited. The MI6 chief has been seen in a couple of embarrassing photos, one wearing a pair of Speedos and another attaching electrodes to the testicles of an Iranian dissident. OK, Jason, Izzy and Terry, what else have the nation been talking about?
That plinth thing in Trafalgar Square, you know, Anthony Gormley.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
I like the idea of the plinth. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I'd love to
go
do
on
it.
the plinth.
I'd love... Well, you have to apply.
What would you do for an hour?
What I would do is, it's a plinth. I'd paint myself gold and take a snooker cue so I'd look like a trophy, like that.
You could dress as a pigeon and shit on people's head from it, couldn't you?
Catch a pigeon and shit on its head. Vengeance.
How much do you want to bet that someone's going to get married on it?
Hey?
Some cliché bollocks where some people will get married on it.
Oh, yeah, the old cliché, you know, the plinth in Trafalgar Square, where people get married how many fucking times? Are they going to roll out that one? Jesus, Kelly. OK, well, let's have a look and see whether Anthony Gormley's new artwork is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, Anthony Gormley's One and Another art project began this week in Trafalgar Square. Anthony Gormley famously created a huge sculpture called the Angel of the North. It weighs 150 tonnes, making it Gateshead's third fattest person. OK, right. Sean, Kelly, Reg, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Sperm.
Sperm?
Yeah.
What have they been saying about sperm?
That they can genetically make sperm in a test tube now. I don't see the point in it, really, because we were saying that before, there's not exactly a lack of it out there.
Well, maybe in your world, young lady.
They've cloned a human sperm, haven't they? But all they've got to do now is get it down to scale, because currently it's quite big. It's like a live turbot. They also reckon that a lot of scientists don't believe they've done it, and they want an expert to check it. Someone like Jordan, just to go... No, there you go.
I can tell you it's not one of the most talked about things this week, but this is the story that scientists have created sperm in a laboratory for the first time. You'll find the results of their experiment spread across the pages of New Scientist magazine. 2 more things to get. Fingers on buzzers.
The cricket.
Ashes. The cricket. I imagine you're quite a cricket expert.
I live right near the cricket ground, but I know absolutely fuck all about cricket. I think it's the most boring thing in the whole entire world. It's like fat man's baseball.
They've appointed an official poet for the Ashes.
They have an official poet.
They have an official poet writing a poem about every game.
Oh,
it's
God.
literally the Everest of shit.
The big problem is that it's in Wales, isn't it? That's what they're kicking off about. There's people in Wales going, we don't want it. We've got Torchwood, why do we need this?
Do you play cricket, Reg?
No, I'm kind of like Kelly, man. I don't despise it, but I don't get it. It's like, I was trying to get into it, and then I found out that you could play like 5 days and still not have a winner. I was amazed by that, man. That's like having sex all day and nobody comes. Just, you know.
Let's have a look and see whether the Ashes is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, the Ashes started this week. The Ashes takes place at Cardiff, Lords, Edgbaston, Headingley and the Oval over 25 days. I applied for tickets and was one of the lucky ones. I didn't get any. OK, one more thing to get. Fingers on buzzers. What else has the nation been talking about?
Is it the News of the World phone tapping situation? It's alleged that the News of the World have tapped, like, 3,000 famous people. And the first thing I thought was, is there 3,000 famous people? I've thought about it all day. I can think of 83.
There's Nolans, that's 5.
Yeah, they were my first 5, Sean.
But who are the Nolans and all them?
The Nolans?
Yeah.
They were a family of murderers. Used to ride around the north indiscriminately, stealing sheep and killing farmers.
On horses?
Yeah, ruthless. But the nation grew to love them. And then they started releasing albums and everyone seemed to forget about it. The music was so good.
Yeah, you can't bug my phone.
I nicked it.
The phone you nicked might have already been bugged.
Yeah, but they won't know it's me. They'll think it's that nun's. So there's a nun somewhere getting in deep shit.
OK, let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, this is the story that the News of the World has been accused of illegally phone tapping. I think the News of the World should revert to the honest and noble traditions of journalism with which they forged their reputation, paying hookers to fuck footballers. OK, so that is our top 5 for this week. In other news, we wish a speedy recovery to Rupert Grint, who plays Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter films, because he has swine flu, or in his case, Hogwarts. And Madonna is back in London with her new adopted child. The weird thing for that kid is it's now wearing the clothes it made 2 months ago. I can tell you at the end of that round, Sean, Kelly and Reg have 2 points. Jason, Terry and Izzy have 3 points. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. Our next round is called Pick of the Polls. Sean, Kelly and Reg, what do you like the look of?
Is that a man holding a Bible?
Yes.
OK, you've chosen the vicar. In a survey to find Britain's happiest profession, the clergy came second. What came top?
Beer tasters. A beer taster in Britain would have to be one of the happiest people in the world, I would think. Y'all drink the way Americans eat. And just, you got to go a long way to be an alcoholic in this country.
Yeah, you really have to. Yeah. You really have to perform. And there are towns where you can't be an alcoholic, places like Newcastle, where it's just not feasible.
No. I've never seen women drink as much as they do in Newcastle.
Man, on weekends, sometimes they dress up like hookers, too. It's great.
Kelly, if you had a real job, this is just a scenario, it's not going to happen, no
job?
one's going to make you do a real job, what would you like to do?
Oh, is this a real job to you?
Yes, it is. Bringing joy to the nation.
Jimmy, I'm not forgetting scaring any children who are watching.
Get to bed, I'm coming to get you.
I've got a little brother who's 8, and I asked him a few weeks ago, like, what do you want to be when you're older? And he had a proper good think about it, and he went, a dog. He's looked at the dog and he thinks, that looks like a pretty good life to me. I'll tell you what, the easiest job I've seen recently, lollipop ladies at Crossroads.
That's what I was just about to say.
Lollipop ladies at Pelican Crossing.
Yes, that's what
Why
I
are you there? That's the button, it goes red and then she walks into the middle of the road with a stop. I go, I know!
I'll give you a clue. You get to chat a lot if you do this job.
Is it hairdressing?
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Yes, Britain's happiest profession is hairdressing. If you want to know the difference between a hairdresser and a barber is a slightly older gay man from Cyprus. What do you fancy, Jason?
Oh, OK. What do you reckon, is it? Let's have a little... Is that... What is he doing in the top left? I'd like him.
OK, you've chosen the train spotter. Here's a clip to illustrate the question.
Ben, ici, ils le prennent bien, sauf la voisine, tout près de chez moi. Alors, elle me prend aussi pour un fou. J'ai l'impression d'être dans la peau du pingouin. Oui, voilà, quand je vais venir à Milan, au Monterre, dans mon costume pingouin, on a déjà fait la pierre, Tobal, avec 2 pingouins. Et puis alors, pour le moment, on est en train de faire le cercueil avec le couvercle en forme de pingouin et le tissu à l'intérieur avec des pingouins. Je me considère comme un belge, typiquement belge, oui.
So, your related question. Most Brits have a hobby they're too embarrassed to tell their friends about. True or false?
It's only posh people who have hobbies, really, isn't it?
It must be train spotting has got to be the most embarrassing, hasn't it? You see, you do always feel a bit superior to those people who are train spotting. I get the train at Stockport and there's a bloke spotting trains and I'm like, well, I can do that, mate. That's a piece of piss. Why don't you go out to sea and try and spot them? You know, challenge yourself. I actually think... that's the real skill.
Are there that many different kinds of trains?
It's about the numbers on the trains as opposed to the model.
So they look for numbers?
Yeah.
Or if they've got a big face on the front, you can tell if it's Thomas or Edward or Gordon.
Do you know what my hobby is?
What's your hobby, Sean?
I like going up to people who've got those Sanskrit tattoos and get my Sanskrit English dictionary out. So, what do you think that says? It says, David. No, it doesn't. It says garage.
OK, so what do you think? Most Brits have a hobby they're too embarrassed to tell their friends about.
I say false.
We said false.
So you're saying false? You're saying...
We're going to go false. False.
So you're going false, you're going false. I can tell you the answer is false.
Yeah.
Yes, the answer is false. Only 5% of Brits have a hobby they're embarrassed about. I could tell you my hobby, but then I'd have to kill you, which coincidentally is my hobby. So at the end of that round, I can tell you it's 3 points to Sean's team and 5 points to Jason's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Worst thing about nightclubs.
Slags.
No, it's worst thing.
No, there's never enough of them.
Never enough slags?
Slags.
I don't know what you lot are complaining about. You'd never get laid if there wasn't slags.
Good point, well made.
I think it's that they make you feel old. I mean, like 10 years ago, I'd have gone in and I looked round to see if there was any, you know, nice-looking girls to have a chat to. Now, I'll go in and I look around to see if there's anywhere to sit. The music's so loud that you're shouting, and then suddenly in some of the songs there's just a silent bit, and then you end up going, I've never killed since. Just really loud.
I mean, I worked in nightclubs for years, and one of the weird things is when I've had guys come round to me. I'm serious. A guy come up to me, and this is the worst one. It's when they go, "Are you that twat, Terry Christian?" And you just don't know what the right answer is, do you?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am that twat. Terry Christian would be the correct answer.
Or there's like the backhanded compliment that is like, I thought that you were going to be so fat and ugly, but you're not. Or you're a lot prettier than I thought you were going to be.
I get that a lot. You're just so pretty. You don't look pretty on the television. But actually, you're beautiful. Your skin is so soft, Sean. Can I hold you? And then they cradle me like that.
Is it mums who go clubbing with their daughters and they're like, everyone thinks we're sisters? You're like, no, we really don't.
I don't like it. You're not allowed to take pets in.
It's
I
rubbish.
was looking after a friend of mine's Alsatian, and I said, I just want to stand by the dance floor with a dog like that. And a pint. Also, there's no creche. Often my partner works nights. And what, am I supposed to stay in? I should be able to take the kids to a creche, go, there's some crisps, there's some lemonade, Daddy's going dancing.
OK, so worst thing about nightclubs...
The drinks are a bit dear.
That's the right answer.
Nice.
Yes, the worst thing about nightclubs is expensive drinks. I always go to nightclubs to get off my tits, which is what they say to me. Get off my tits. Top thing Brits won't sacrifice to spite the credit crunch.
Is it, like, just crap from IKEA that you don't need? You've gone in to buy, like, a Billy bookcase, but you come out with, like, a lime holder.
200 tea lights.
Yeah,
I just want these 200 tea lights. I might need to power a runway.
Is it crazy straws?
How crazy are you talking, Sean?
I'm talking mental straws. Straws, where you start sucking, it's a week before you taste anything. It goes over there. It goes into a different borough for a bit, and then it comes back.
I would say tea, because tea is a big deal to people over here, man. You walk in their house, first thing they do is offer you some tea. If you have a stroke and you seem to be coming back from it, they offer you some tea. You could have just had an abortion, your husband could have left you. But the first thing they will offer you is some tea. Yeah, so I just think people won't do without no tea over here.
Yeah.
Well, you're not a million miles away with tea.
Coffee.
I'll give you a clue. It's a foodstuff.
Steak.
I'll give you that. Bizarrely, the top thing Brits won't sacrifice despite the credit crunch is meat. I'm not sure I agree with the morality of eating meat. I only eat what I can kill, but there's not much meat on a sleeping vagrant. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Kelly and Reg have 4 points, Jason, Terry and Izzy are the winners with 6 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
On 8 out of 10 Cats Best of British Special. From Northern Ireland, Patrick Keelty. From Scotland, Kevin Bridges. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, from England, Shappy Corsandi. From Wales, Ron Gilbert. And their team captain, Jason Manford. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats Best of British Special, a show all about the British. Did you know, for example, American research has suggested that all Englishmen are oppressed and uptight? When I read that, I was angry and upset, but I managed to hide it. There is a stereotype that suggests the most common crime in Wales is sheep shagging. Not the case. It's actually ram raiding. Newcastle is the only major city in the UK without a red light district, and I'll tell you why. No need. And if you're watching in Norfolk, hello. I'm not being patronising, I just thought I'd show you what a normal hand looks like. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the nation who they think is the greatest living Briton. It's our panellists' job to guess the public's top 5 greatest Britons. Sean, Patrick, Kevin, you're to go first. Who's the greatest living Briton?
Susan Boyle.
People give Susan Boyle a hard time, but I think she's a good-looking fella.
I think she is.
They're doing a film of her life as well.
Are they?
Yeah, and I thought, how interesting is that? The first 40 years is just her feeding cats.
I think she'd be a perfect replacement for Michael Jackson at the O2. No, honestly, because now that, you know, Michael Jackson's cancelled, they've renamed the O2...
Cancelled? He died.
No,
he didn't phone up. up just for a sec.
No. By the way, I'm just about to die. I don't think I can do the show.
I can tell you, Susan Ball, the public didn't vote for her.
No, but...
Have another guess.
Tim
Top 5.
Berners-Lee, the guy who created the internet.
If you invented the internet, it must be rubbish. There's no websites are out. Well, there's nothing to do on it. It's not even got cinema listings.
There's nothing to do on the website.
Not when you're the first person. It's like the bloke who invented the phone for the first time. Like, you know, Alexander Graham Bell. Who did he ring? How did he know it worked?
Surely, if you invent something, you can always invent another one to go with it.
What, invented two?
I think he invented 2 phones at the same go.
Yeah.
So Jason...
Hello? Hello? It's me! I know!
So engaged, you idiot.
I can tell you, Tim Berners-Lee not voted in the top 50 Britons.
Oh.
On the computer theme, I just found out Stephen Hawking is British. I never knew that until last week. I could never place the accent, I suppose.
I read that he went to Stringfellows. He likes Stringfellows.
In 2003, Hawking reportedly visited Stringfellows.
That must be weird if you're in the booth next to him. And in the next one, you can just hear, play with your boobies. Your eyes are like the cosmos.
I think he's the perfect bloke to go for a pint with, though. WKD for me and a WD-40 for him. It's perfect.
Do you know what I would really like to see him on? I'd really like to see him on Mastermind, because he's so bright.
Mastermind? Have you not seen Robot Wars? He'd kill on that. No! Well, let's have a look and see whether Stephen Hawking is up there.
There he is.
Yes! Stephen Hawking was voted the greatest living Briton by the British public. Hawking's A Brief History of Time is a hugely successful book. Over 200 million people in 100 different countries have now read the first 2 pages. Perhaps his 2 most famous quotes are, "The total energy of the universe is exactly 0," and, "Warning, vehicle reversing." Right, other great living Britons, Jason's team.
It's got to be somebody else who's revered, like David Beckham, for example. Because he's one of those people who... I always put together with Stephen Hawking. I always think... because everyone has a... Look, you're giggling already because he's like... Everyone goes, oh, he's stupid, isn't he, David Beckham? You're like, well, that's not what he's famous for. He's famous for being brilliant at football. Nobody goes, oh, Stephen Hawking, he might be clever, but I'd piss on him in a race. You know what I mean? So...
Yeah, I don't think Stephen Hawking would sell as many underpants as David Beckham, would he? And the other thing about David Beckham is he always advertises foreign stuff, doesn't he? He always advertises, like, police sunglasses, Dolce & Gabbana. Why doesn't he do, like, Aunt Bessie's Yorkshire puddings?
These are lovely.
It's a bit like my Michael Jackson voice.
These are Yorkshire puddings. You just take them out of the freezer and...
Shamon!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like seeing proper fat blokes with Beckham on the back of their England shirt. And then I like to run after him down the street going, David! David! David, can I get you? David, can I get you? Oh, sorry, mate. Sorry, I thought you were the real one.
He used to be a lovely-looking chap, but he's got too many tattoos, doesn't he? Look, he's going to need a contents page if he carries on like this. Presumably, they're all to remind him of the things he's not supposed to forget. He's got his son's names somewhere on his back or something. He's got "Forever by My Side" on his arm. It's presumably to remind him where to keep that.
Oh, well, I can tell you, David Beckham is not in the top 5. Great greatness. Yeah.
There you go.
Beckham recently branded a journalist a sado. What kind of wally says sado? Div. When he resigned as England captain, Beckham broke down in tears as he realised he'd have to spend more time with her. Another guess from Sean's team.
Jamie Oliver, is he there? Because he's good work for the schools. See, I feel sorry because when I went to school in Glasgow, the highlight of the day was eating junk food at lunchtime. And I was always the kind of fat guy that would bring in a note to PE, like, please excuse Kevin from volleyball, he's fucked off to Greg's. So... what I'm saying is the guy's effort is pretty commendable, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, no, I think so.
I got really upset with those, as a mother, with those mums that went and fed fish and chips to their kids through the school gate. In sort of, what's the word? Rebellion.
Photo opportunity?
Because it's like, well... my kid's going to die of obesity. By the time he's 14, that'll learn that, Jamie Oliver.
But it is weird, because I've read, like, people were saying, oh, he's only doing it to become famous. Like, if that's a byproduct of doing something nice and good, then so be it, you know what I mean? If the bloke who invents the cure for cancer wants to name the cure after himself, no one's going to go, big-headed prick. You know what I mean?
Mumps. Do you know who discovered the mumps?
No.
Who?
Have a guess.
Dr. Mumps?
No. It was actually discovered by Dr. Gonorrhea. But he was saving his name for something a bit more serious. I can't waste my name on a little red lump. Something that rots the cock.
I can tell you, Jamie Oliver is not in the top 5. Ooh. Over the years, Jamie has helped popularise certain phrases, like pucker, lovely jubbly, and is there anything else on? Another guess, greatest living Briton.
Is Thatcher on there? Thatcher, milk snatcher. Which I think she got off remarkably lightly for. It's like having a go at Hitler for making the moustache a little less fashionable, isn't it? It's like saying, Hitler, now we can't have moustaches that are littler, that is. But I bet she's on there, that odious old toad.
I remember when I was a kid, we weren't allowed that soft, whippy ice cream because she invented it, apparently.
Margaret Thatcher invented...
You got the same Margaret Thatcher?
I'm telling you, her and Dr. Whippy, they got together and she invented soft, whippy ice cream. She was part of the team that discovered that.
Was this before she was Foreign Secretary?
That is real. That is real. Have a look. Google it when you get home. Look, that woman's nodding. That woman's not in, and she's not mental.
Same thing happened in our house. At Christmas, we weren't allowed tinsel because Robert Mugabe invented tinsel.
It's true.
But she was voted in 3 times, so a lot of people back in the day must have liked her.
People say that, oh, she had to do what she did, and that's why you got to admire her for that, because she had to do what she did. A dog's colon has to extract water from its faeces before it pushes it out through its anus, but I'm not going to buy a commemorative plate for that, either. Something you have to do. You don't have to admire her.
Let's have a look and see whether Margaret Thatcher was voted one of the greatest living Britons.
She's bound to be.
No,
She's bound
surely
to be.
not. No!
Incredibly, yes, the British public voted Thatcher the 4th greatest living Briton. Thatcher recently broke her arm in what doctors describe as a good start. Thatcher says she doesn't want her funeral to be a morbid affair, she wants it to be a celebration. Well, you won't be disappointed, love. It'll be like Mardi Gras, there'll be a conga. Another guess, greatest living Briton. What do you think, Shappy?
Well, the Queen must be up there, surely.
If she doesn't win this poll, then this show is guilty of treason, isn't it?
Yeah. The royal family apparently cost Britain 69 pence per person per year. Surely we could get somebody to do it a bit cheaper. Outsource, get some cowboy people in.
Get a call centre in India to do it.
She's pretty cool as well for her age. Like, Barack Obama gave her an iPod.
He gave her this lovely present, this really well thought out, like an iPod with loads of pictures of when she'd visited America and some music from Broadway musicals and stuff. And she gave him a picture of her and Philip. I've been in that situation where someone's come round with a gift and you've not got them out. You know, they give you something nice, you go, oh, well, I got you this remote control for our telly.
Well, let's have a look and see whether the Queen was voted one of the 5 greatest living Britons. She's in at number 2. Yes, the Queen was voted the 2nd greatest living Briton. The Queen is 80 years old, but she looks remarkably well for the most privileged woman in human history. Fingers on buzzers.
Cowell, we haven't said Cowell properly, have we?
Simon Cowell in The Greatest Britain.
Yeah.
He was voted 33 in the worst Britons, and the first 20 were serial killers.
Times have changed. You know, Britain's Got Talent is supposed to show us that any talentless dick can make it big, and he's an ambassador for that, isn't he?
Well, let's have a look and see whether Simon Cowell is one of the greatest living Britons.
No way. God, he is.
Yeah. Simon Cowell was voted the 5th greatest living Briton. Through his television work, Cowell has amassed a £200 million fortune. Throw in the profits from Leon Jackson's album, and he's never short of change either. Simon Cowell spends £500,000 every year on his own personal security. £500,000 on personal security. That is an incredible amount of money. Has Simon not considered being less of a We've got one more person to get. Fingers on buzzers. Oh, go on.
I'm going to go for the guy Banksy. Do you know the graffiti artist?
It can't be Banksy, though, can it? Because he's not British. Because Banksy, everyone knows, is Rolf Harris. It's Rolf. It's Rolf having a bit of fun.
He shouldn't be on it, because going around painting stuff on walls, some of the stuff he's done some really cruel, practical jokes. So, like on the West Bank, painting a ladder up the wall, he's taking the piss, isn't he? That's like when Terry Waite was handcuffed to a radiator, sneaking in the night and painting a little key just out of his reach.
I can tell you that Banksy was not in the top 5, but he was on the longer list. I personally prefer art that makes you think. Would a Labrador really try and bluff a Spaniel with a pair of 3s? OK, last person to get. I'll give you a clue, it's an author.
J.K. Rowling.
I always find it amazing with Harry Potter books that they're sort of acceptable for adults to read on, you know, on the train or whatever. And I think, except when I do a bit of colouring, you know what I mean? A bit of colouring. People look at me like I'm mental.
Don't laugh, he doesn't go over the lines. He's very good.
My nephew's only 7. He came up to me and he goes, Shappy, can we play Harry Potter? And I said, of course we can, my darling. And I locked him in the cupboard under the stairs.
Didn't you say Dumbledore was gay?
Yeah.
I've seen the films and stuff, and you wouldn't, you know, you don't know he's gay. He's not like he's mincing through the corridors like, oh, Harry, look at your massive wand. Oh, chase me. I'm going to go and order the next series of Queer as Folk off Amazon. See you later. Like...
Well, I think it's impressive that she had the idea for Harry Potter on the train from Manchester to London. Now I've been on that train, and I took one look around the carriage, and the only idea I had was to get off at Preston and lie on the platform and punch myself to a pulp.
All this stuff about she was really poor and she had to write it on a napkin on a train, or she wrote stuff on a sick bag on a flight. So she can't afford paper. She can afford a bloody flight and a train, though, can't she? Oh, she's so poor, she had to write it on the back of her receipt for ski hire in St. Moritz.
Well, I can tell you you're absolutely right. J.K. Rowling is up there.
Yay.
Well done.
Yes, J.K. Rowling was voted the 3rd greatest living Briton. J.K. Rowling lives in Edinburgh with her husband, Dr. Neil Lucky. So that is our top 5 greatest living Britons. Of course, many great Britons are sadly deceased. Shakespeare wrote 38 plays, 154 sonnets and 2 long narrative poems. But can he do this? Lord Horatio Nelson only had 1 eye and 1 arm, hence the phrase, half Nelson. And Isambard Kingdom Brunel was the first man to lay a cable right the way across the Atlantic. Airline food is terrible, isn't it? So at the end of that round, I can tell you, Sean, Patrick and Kevin have 1 point. Jason, Rod and Chappie are in the lead with 4 points. Hello and welcome back to our Best of British special. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. Sean, Patrick and Kevin, what do you like the look of?
Is that a fence? Let's go with the fence.
OK, you've chosen the country gate. Here's a clip to illustrate the question.
Every year, thousands of new singles are released in this country, and even the professional pop pundits find it difficult to predict just which is going to be the big chartbuster of them all. But what about this? It's all about aliens from another planet who find the ideal place to settle here on Earth.
Silently, they came to ground, left their ship and went to town, for they knew there was energy from aliens from outer space, needing help from the human race. They found the answer at Northampton. Northampton, Northampton, Northampton.
The weirdest thing about that is they put the words on the bottom in case you want to join in at home.
Your question is, what does the nation prefer, town or country?
Well, it's normally during, like, debates on the hunting ban that your allegiance really sort of shows itself, whether you're town or country.
See, I'm a big animal lover, so I'm going to go for town.
When you say I'm a big animal lover in that voice, I feel like I've gone to prison.
I'm actually from a small village. I'm from a small village in Ireland, but I live in Chelsea now, and it's quite tricky when, you know, you're from the country and then you turn up in the town, because the town's quite, you know, it's quite unfriendly. You know, you talk to people, like, well, I went to introduce myself to my neighbours in Chelsea and they thought I was giving them a quote for tarmacking.
Like if you're in the countryside and you ask someone directions and you kind of are pretty sure about where you're going, but you think you just check. And it's a quick, is it up here then? And they should just go, yeah. But they don't, they stand for ages. And sometimes they walk you to where you want to go.
They get in the car.
They get in your
that
car.
As well.
And
I'll get in, I'll show you. You're like, no.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck off, don't touch me.
Mentalist. This is a smart car. We'll be touching.
Sean, what do you think, town or country?
I like the tuntry.
Hey, Jason, what are you going for?
Town. Country, we'll go country.
You'll go country. Sean, you're going?
Go for country.
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 OK, you're going with the country. I can tell you 65% of people say they prefer the country.
There you go.
The countryside is great. Unless you want to buy anything, go anywhere, do anything, or see anyone. Jason's team, what do you like the look of?
Ooh, is it London? Let's
You going to go for London?
Yeah, we're in London. It seems rude not to.
Big up. OK. You've chosen London. 66% of Londoners think their city is a good place to what?
Leave.
Is it a good place to visit Trafalgar Square?
Is it to sunbathe on a tiny bit of grass near a road? I always see that. Just people going, that's grass, that'll do.
You do see some people, you kind of go, that is a roundabout. There's no two ways about that.
Is it to find a cab driver who will only give you a lift if you live near him? I found that sometimes.
They've not got the idea of our
It's like the only place in the world that you go, all right, mate, I'm just going to Kentish Town. They go, sorry, mate, I live out west. So you're only giving lifts to people on your street?
They have changed, though. Now that there's a recession, they sort of, even if you don't hail a cab, they sort of stop and drive really slowly past you going, lift, want to come in? Hey, lady.
You sure that's cab driving?
Is it a good place to have a night out? Because that's what you think as an outsider. You come to London, it's going to be quite exciting, the nightlife, the scene. And then, like, 2 in the morning, it's just the same as any other city in the UK. I was in a McDonald's in South London.
Oh, you've lived a life.
Party time. It's a Scottish name, McDonald, you know, eat your home cuisine. So I was in... And there's a guy in the queue at 2 in the morning, early in he was having a lie down on the floor, right, 2 in the morning, in what I would deem to be the queue, right? And from what I could gather, the guy had pissed his pants. Right? He had shat himself, and he was in the process of being sick. Right? The guy was having a tough time. You know, it was as if his insides got to that stage in the night when they went, right, that's it, we'll call it a day there, lads. You know, find an orifice, we're leaving. And I thought, this is the London experience here on this. Is that a good place for a night out?
It's not a good place for a night out, but you paint a wonderful picture there. So 66% of Londoners think their city is a good place to what?
Meet the other 34%.
You're sort of on the right lines there. It's to do with meeting someone special.
A good place to fall in love.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Get
Good.
out.
66% of Londoners think their city is a good place to find love. The last relationship I had, I ruined by blurting out, I love you, too early, which gave away the fact I was hiding behind the curtains. So at the end of that round, it is 2 points to Sean's team and 6 points to Jason's team. Way out in front. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here is your first one. Most desirable place to live in the UK.
Country.
Cown. I'd like to live next to a landfill site, right? Because when you finish your dinner, you can just go to your back garden and just scrape it over the fence into the landfill.
Is it Alton Towers?
That's a good
How
answer.
Would that be? Just before all the queues got there, you could go on Rita as many times. Well, that's the ride, isn't it? But you know, all the.
I'm going to say, and this isn't because I do the adverts on television, I'm entirely impartial, but I'm going to say Wales.
No. No, it isn't.
Northampton, middle of England.
I think it's either Cheddar, Wensleydale, or Stilton. But not Leicester, don't like that. No flavour.
Is it Cornwall?
Cornwall.
Cornwall is the right answer. They got it first. Yes, the most desirable place to live in the UK is Cornwall. Getting to Cornwall is easy. Straight down the M4, then the M5, then it's the A roads, then bam! 6 hours later, you're nearly there. Characteristic that most defines Brits.
Binge drinking. And also go into other people's countries and thinking that they quite like us binge drinking there. And then, while we binge drink in other people's countries, mistaking people not being able to understand English for them being deaf and stupid.
I try to communicate through patio furniture. I just throw patio furniture across piazzas. And I hope that lands in a way that suggests chicken salad.
Yeah, we drink for everything in this country. We drink to celebrate, we wet a baby's head, we toast friendships, we warm a flat.
Just bought a new spanner.
Hey! Oh, no, it just occurred to me that we haven't mentioned tea.
It's got to be tea, yeah.
It's got to be tea. Who was it that said like tea more than sex.
Boy George
Boy
famously
George.
said, I prefer tea to sex.
I prefer tea to sex. Yeah, well, if you're invited back to his house, so would I.
Is it negativity? We're very negative people, British people.
No.
We are very negative. Is it if British people landed on the moon, we wouldn't have put a flag up. We put a little sign up saying, caution, uneven surface. Like in China, they have fortune cookies. The equivalent in this country with a pie with a gas bill in it.
Is it building people up and then knocking them down? Susan Boyle went from being, you know, a sort of nondescript old woman to the greatest singer in the world and back again in the space of a week, and everybody was saying, oh, she's forgotten her roots and having a go at her, and just because she'd had a few wheelbarrow loads of hair removed from her head. And, you know, we clipped our dog's eyebrows the other week. It doesn't make him Elton John.
It's the most British thing. It's the thing that we talk about most.
Weather.
The weather.
Correct. Yes, the characteristic that most defines Brits is an obsession with the weather. Whenever we have a heat wave, old people are told to stay indoors, and that's because they don't look good in bikinis. This July, the pavements in London were hot enough to fry an egg on. Yeah, I'll have mine, dog shit side up. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Patrick and Kevin have 3 points. Jason, Shappy and Rod are the winners with 7 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, Johnny Vegas, Alex Sane, Jeremy Clarkson, James McQuillan, Jamelia, Josie Long, Tom Felton, Richard E. Grant, Yvette Fielding, Kelly Osborne, and their team captain, John Locke, and facing them tonight, Jack Whitehall, Ulrika Johnson, Alan Cumming, Lauren Laverne, David Walliam, Holly Walsh, Mark Watson, Claudia Winkleman, Reginald D. Hunter, Phil Spencer, and their team captain, Jason Manford. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to a very special edition of 8 out of 10 Cats, where we'll be showing you the best bits from this series, as well as some outtakes. You know the drill. It's a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, the largest recorded gathering of people was 15 million at a Hindu religious festival in India? It was such a success, the 14 million survivors are thinking about doing it again next year. 18% of men admit not noticing if a girl changes her hairstyle. I should explain to those men that a girl's hair is part of the blur above where her breasts are. A doner kebab pot noodle contains 22% of a recently divorced man's recommended calorie intake. A teaspoon contains 120 drops of water. That's according to research by Professor, probably, from the University of... Yeah, I reckon. And if you're watching in Norfolk, hello. I'm not being patronising. I just thought I'd show you what a normal hand looks like. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. Let's have a look and see what we've been talking about over the last few months.
Is it Big Brother? It's the 10th series now, and I've always been a fan of Big Brother, but there's been a few points where I think even the voiceover bloke sounds like he's getting a bit bored. Yeah. So one day I just want to turn it on and go, dear whatever it is in the Big Brother house, one of them has said something that's upset the other one, but the other ones don't care.
Here's the thing, Davina, brilliant. The house, brilliant.
Who's your favourite housemate?
Well, then,
There's
the problem
There's
is,
the problem.
then they fill the nice, lovely house with the cool sofa and the, oh, you can come over here and make a smoothie with twats.
Are you... Sorry. Shri is not a twat. Shri is amazing. He's obsessed by this girl. He's obsessed by Noreen. He's in the same house as her as he's obsessed by it, so it's come in really handy. It's a stalker's paradise.
It is. Was he stalking her before the show? I mean, that's incredibly lucky. If you're stalking someone and you both end up in the Big Brother house.
You know Lisa, the lesbian lady?
Is she a lesbian?
Yeah,
the one with the Mohican?
Yeah.
And the big...
She'd be sat there like this. She'd go, don't get me wrong, you know, with that girl's allowed, you know what I mean? I'd maybe do them, but I wouldn't do the ginger one, but I'd do the rest. I thought, none of them are going to have sex with you, you dirty great Leza. What are you talking about? You'd be lucky to have sex with the ginger one.
James, are you watching Big Brother?
I don't actually watch reality TV. I think it's crass, to be honest with you. I think when you see these people who just, you know, lower their standards to go on to try and... on the off chance... On the off chance...
the irony. Did you get it?
I'm serious. On the off chance that they might get, you know, tapped up to go on some poxy Channel 4 show late at night on a Friday.
Probably got to be will Gordon Brown still be in a job in the next week or so? He's obviously got to be very worried. I'd be very worried if I had Hugh Edwards doing the news from outside my house. I think if you look outside your window and you see Hugh Edwards going, welcome to the 10 o'clock news, you've got to think, Christ, what have I done? There's a brilliant picture of him this week. Have you got a picture?
Oh, yeah, I've got the picture of him being held on the chin.
And it's very interesting because he's the Prime Minister. Someone's just reached out and... I mean, if that was Obama, they'd be mincemeat by now. He doesn't even stop him. I reckon you could walk up to Gordon Brown, pull his trousers open and pour custard down there. And after about a minute, the special services would go, actually, that's enough custard. He is the Prime Minister. He's coming out on his shoes, for Christ's sake. A bit of respect.
Jason, do you think Gordon Brown is doomed?
I think the Labour Party in general won't... Well, they'll be here, but they won't be in power, I think. Now all the MPs are in this rigmarole of... They're terrified, aren't they? And they're calling it expenses scandal. But let's call it what it is. It's theft, isn't it? That's what it is, theft. If we did it in our job, you know, I've taken a few of your suits home over the past few weeks. You know, I dressed my wife in them.
One good thing that comes out of this, if you're walking down the street and you see an MP with a Kit Kat, you're entitled to just go off and break off a bit. I paid for this. Yeah, this is even better with a pepperami because you can bend it over and then go too hot.
Are they actually taking anyone's personal money?
Yes, ours.
Yeah, ours.
What have the nation been talking about?
Have you been watching a bit of the Britain's Got Talent?
Subo.
Subo,
she's gone mad.
Turned up at some singing do.
Yes.
Thrown some water. Tried to snog a cock. Shouted loads of abuse. And only now does it come to light that she's Scottish. Have these people never been on National Express? There's fucking loads of them. Moon River!
You shouldn't knock her, though, because also one of the things about the reason Obama likes her so much is she's a very important weapon in the war against terror. Because young extremists are now thinking twice about blowing themselves up now they know what a virgin really looks like. They're going...
She's got some huge fans, though, because, and you'll appreciate this as a Twitterer, Jimmy. Demi Moore has been twittering her support all through this, saying how much she likes her. And I think that's because Demi Moore is smart. Because she's thinking, you know, when the looks go, I'll be able to play her in a movie.
They are actually doing a movie of her, though, aren't they? Of Susan Boyle's life. And
yes, and I'm going to play her.
Madonna's been at it again. She's adopted another child, which is fantastic news for everybody.
If I could get adopted, I would get adopted by Billy Bragg. That's like my dream person to adopt me. If he's out there, just...
Do you have
I'll make
parents?
no trouble. Yeah, I've got parents. They're great.
Will they be watching this? Going, what, we haven't written enough protest songs. What do you want, love?
I would choose Adam Woodyard.
Wow, people
He's
have
my
actually got this.
favourite celebrity. I interviewed him once. He's number one, smiley. Number two, charming.
This is Ian Beale we're talking about here.
Number three...
She wants Ian Beale to be her dad.
He just seems... He's very friendly.
They're slagging Madonna off in the paper, like, but she's going to make this child's life better. I mean, I'm from Manchester, and I'm doing all right for myself, but even she would make my life better, you know, so...
Yeah, if Madonna offered to adopt me even at this point, I'd consider it.
I'd say so.
Yeah. She's probably got things like a jacuzzi.
Let's have a look and see whether Madonna adopting a baby is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, this is the story that Madonna has adopted a second Malawian child. Already, Madonna's visit has passed into Malawian legend, specifically the legend of the scrawny witch that swoops down from the skies and steals children. No offence to any witches that we have in the audience. If we had any witches, I apologise. Anyone had green hair? So, for example, that one there. Jason, Holly and David, what else of the nation are we talking about?
Well, it's got to be the
European elections,
European elections,
yeah. Got to be the European elections, isn't it, Jimmy?
No, it's just the BNP going over there taking all their jobs. It's,
yeah.
It's pretty simple.
I don't understand why the BNP even want to be, you know, in the European Parliament, because they're always going to be sat next to foreigners, aren't they, all the time? Unless that might cure them. They go over there and go, actually, it's quite nice, and the people are really friendly. Oh, what's that? Oh, cross on. I'm no longer a racist.
Someone threw an egg at him, didn't they?
Was it a British hen that laid the egg, do we know?
It was a brown egg that was thrown, and that's what hurt.
Somebody once threw an egg at me.
Someone once threw an egg at you?
Why did they do it? Is it because you're a
Can we all play together? No. What else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it Gordon Ramsay's been making friends in Australia? Well, he was actually been told off by the Australian Prime Minister, wasn't he? He was called the lowest form of life, because he called a TV presenter a pig. He said she was a pig-faced woman. And I thought it's quite ironic, him calling someone a pig when his face looks like crackling. Burnt crackling. How can he go around giving, you know, insults about how people look? He makes Ronnie Wood look like Hannah Montana, doesn't he? When he shuts his eyes, it's like someone's put a chef's hat on a walnut.
OK, right. Sean, Kelly Bridge, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Sperm.
Sperm?
Yeah.
What have they been saying about sperm?
That they can genetically make sperm in a test tube now. I don't see the point in it, really, because we were saying it before, there's not exactly a lack of it out there.
Well, maybe in your world, young lady.
Basically, they've cloned a human sperm, haven't they? But all they've got to do now is get it down to scale, because currently it's quite big. It's like a live turbot.
It's been hot. There was a garden expert who said it's going to be the end of the English country garden. And I thought, that's sad, that, because I always enjoyed pulling down my pants and suffocating the ants all those times. Good fun.
What?
Yeah.
Say that again?
Good times. Pulling down your pants, suffocating the ants. You never do that? Pick up a leaf, wipe it underneath. You never did that, Phil? Squeeze out a log, blame it on the dog. You never did this, Phil?
Fingers on buzzers. One more thing to get.
Wimbledon. Wimbledon, Jimmy.
Go on, tell me more about Wimbledon.
Wimbledon is a time when people play tennis together.
Correct.
I like the grunting, though. That's where they earn their money, don't they? The grunting, which they're trying to ban.
How can you ban grunting?
Shoot them. A blind bloke who normally hunts pigs, like that, sitting there, and he hears a...
To be honest with you, I think that's a ratings winner.
It is weird when you listen it when, like, I was watching a match the other day, and I had it on Sky Plus. So I was watching it about 1 o'clock in the morning. My wife was upstairs, and she could hear grunting coming from the telly. It's like, what you're watching? I was like, just the ladies that playing tennis, that's all. Like, you know what I mean? Why is there a bass guitar making some music? I don't know.
Was the lady playing tennis going, oh, yeah, big boy. Oh,
Jason, Lauren and Alan, what other movies are people excited about seeing?
Terminator. Terminator salivation or something.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
It's all been a bit hyped up because Christian Bale had that big tantrum as well. That got leaked. That was amazing.
Yeah. You've acted with him, Richard?
I have, but 15 years ago on a film called Portrait of a Lady. He was very quiet and reserved, and it was on a movie when Nicole Kidman still had no lips.
So back in the olden days?
In the olden days, yeah. Before...
Did you think, as an actor, you think you get stressed and it's a hard day and you've...
Yeah, I think anybody gets stressed. Yeah. I'm sure that if we had to hear what was going on when Gordon Brown got all that stuff in the Daily Telegraph on a daily basis. Can you imagine waking up to those reviews every day? You wouldn't be able to leave the door.
Reviews. You're such a lovely.
Another 3-star, Alistair. Another 3 stars.
What other film are people excited about seeing?
He had his hands over there. He had his hands over there where he's impressed. And I just went, bang! Bang!
And it was like a scene from Transformers. I was like, bang! Transformers! Yeah! Answer the question.
Is it Star Trek?
He's done you!
No!
He's done you, Sean! He's done you! He's done you, mate! He's done me! Star Trek.
Have you heard Michael Jackson is dead?
Yes. I heard.
People have been talking about it because he's a controversial figure. I mean, if it's wrong to share your bed with 13-year-old boys, then lock me up and throw away the key.
It's coming out that his prescription drug use, that he used a lot of prescription drugs, 30 million pounds a year he spent on prescription drugs, Xanax, Zantac. What a lot of people don't realize is that Michael Jackson actually died 2 years ago, but he kept taking them drugs and we didn't know.
They found Xanax, Vicodin and Demerol in his house. I want to know what Geldof's kids were doing there in the first place. Welcome back to the best of 8 out of 10 cats. Here's our pick of the Polls. Sean, Josie and Jamelia, what do you like the look of?
Birmingham's got to be. And it better not be anything bad.
It's nothing bad about Birmingham.
Well, what's going to happen if it is? What are you going to do?
I'm going to
You're
beat
gonna
him
attack
up. Yeah, I'm going to attack him.
Let's pick Birmingham. Hope it's bad.
Birmingham is a shithole. Why? No, it's not that. You've chosen Birmingham. OK. 25% of people from the Midlands have used what to seduce someone?
In Birmingham, everyone like smiles at each other and they say hello, even if you don't know each other. But then when I first came to London, I did that and they were kind of like looking at me like I was a weirdo.
I had the same thing, Jamelia, actually, coming down from the north. I remember getting to Euston and there was a fella reading, I think it was Da Vinci Code at the time. It was before it, kicked off into the big success. And I sort of wandered over and I said, oh, is it any good, that? I've been fancying read it. He looked at me like I went, hey, mate, can I have a little tickle of your bollocks? Is that...
About the book. I'll give you a clue. It's something that I would associate with doing with your family.
Oh, Pictionary.
I'll give you that.
Ooh.
I'll give you that.
What?
No, I'll give you that. 25% of people from the Midlands have used a board game to seduce someone.
That's amazing.
Other successful seduction techniques in the West Midlands include wearing trousers, having a van with its own mattress, and not having sick down your shirt.
Are you married, Phil?
Yes, I am.
Do you remember in Heat magazine when you did an interview and the question was, have you ever been chatted up by another celeb?
Yes,
and do you know what your answer was?
Yes, very well.
What was it?
You.
When did I chat you up?
No, I was bidding for a dress.
Yes.
There was a dress that I thought my wife would look very beautiful in. Well, I heard this voice in my ear. Go on, Phil, you look really lovely in that. And I turned around laughing, spotted you, and there was a look in your eye. I thought, actually, he wasn't joking, was he?
Did you feel my erection as well?
many people here have injured themselves drinking?
Yeah, loads.
What have you ever injured yourself with drinking?
Fallen down, I got my jaw broken.
By who?
By the bloke who ran the pub.
Technically not a drinking injury, that's more a violence-related thing.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have been there if I had been drinking. You know? I wouldn't have been singing that song.
Most Brits have a hobby they're too embarrassed to tell their friends about.
What are you doing?
I think Sean's just... I think he's...
Oh, it's my hobby. Electronics. No, our telly's gone down, so I thought I'd fix it. It has actually gone down. That's my hobby. Having a bit
I
of
don't
fun.
actually think it's broken. It just says signal over rain.
Well, it's black. The screen's completely black. I don't know what you expect from your television. I don't expect to see a picture. If you go, there's just, you know there's some electricity in it somewhere. That's not enough for me.
Kelly, if you had a real job, this is just a scenario, it's not going to happen,
real
no one's going to
job?
make you do a real job, what would you like to do?
Oh, is this a real job to you?
Yes, it is. Bringing joy to the nation.
Jimmy, I'm not forgetting scaring any children who are watching.
Get to bed, I'm coming to get you. Most Brits think there's no point trying to speak a foreign language while on holiday. Is that true or false? We've been on holiday together, haven't we, David?
Oh, yeah.
I've got a photo. Do you remember this?
I wanted to find the ugliest lady boy.
And there he is on the right.
I went with my friend Robin.
Yeah, I remember Robin,
Who is gay. My friend Robin is gay. I've got a gay friend. What of it?
That was a huge shock to all of us.
No, but we went to some straight sex shows, and he said, well, we've been to lots of straight ones. Can't we now go to a gay sex show? I went, oh, all right, then. And he took me to this show, and these men... Can I borrow you for a second? No. Phil, can I borrow you for a second? Phil, can I borrow you? No, because these men... This was all right, Phil. It's all right. These men got on the stage, and they started... Phil, just bend over a little bit. And they went round to people's laps. Go, lean over, Phil. And they started going, lean over, Phil. They started bombing people. I was shocked.
There's nothing you can do.
I was shocked and horrified, and I only stayed an hour.
And the winner is the name of our final round. Fingers on buzzers for more of our best bits. Worst film to see on a first date? Ow! Sorry. Tom, have you taken ladies to the cinema? What do you take them to?
Not so much to the cinema, but films at home, on the couch, bit of DVD, that sort of thing.
Did you ever show Harry Potter, like, with you in it? Is that like a first date, like a... Yeah.
That would probably be my worst film to see on a
that?
first date, yeah.
Yeah, just watch yourself, love, because I can turn. Is the worst film on a first date Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
And then halfway through just keep whispering, that's not how you make a dress out of skin.
Top household convenience drivers would like in their car.
How about replacing the electric windows with sash windows?
And having a window box on the bonnet.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Lots of
Little
nice
flowers,
flowers.
yeah, grow your own.
With
Yeah.
some curtains.
Oh,
People
nice,
can't see.
curtains, yeah,
People
no,
can't look
yeah.
in as they're going past. They can't look in on
It'd be
you.
good for when you're dogging.
Yeah.
What about a...
I've always thought that would be the best Top Gear challenge, if you three went dogging.
We have quite a lot. James is really good at it.
Worst thing about nightclubs?
Slags.
No, it's worst thing.
No, there's never enough of them.
Never enough slags?
Slags.
I don't know what you lot are complaining about. You'd never get laid if there wasn't slags.
Good point, well made. Most hated chore?
Is it getting rid of soiled bedding?
Getting rid of what?
You know, like, soiled bedding.
Oh.
When it's not your house.
Oh, I'll just be with you in 1 second. Best way to get the attention of someone you fancy?
Is it become a guest panelist on a quiz show and then pretend to have anal sex with...
Women's dream way to be proposed to.
Is it outside Yates's? and you're holding her hair as she's having a little bit of a sick.
Again,
there's some places in Manchester where if you did that, you'd be quite the David Niven.
I didn't take any risks when I proposed.
Oh.
I put a note up the cat's arse. And when it went into the kitchen, I thought she'd go, "What's that in the cat's arse?" Will you marry? It's a bit smudged here.
I like the way that my husband proposed to me. Like, he proposed in front of people. I honestly think I probably would have said no if it was just like me and him. I'm going to actually try and answer the question. I'm just thinking, like, girly girls, probably, like, on bended knee at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
I'll give you that for the Paris, because women's dream way to be proposed to is actually on a romantic holiday. I thought it would be romantic to take my girlfriend back to where we first met, but she said, "Don't make me go back there, Mr. Jimmy. I cook, I clean, I'll be better." Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the show and the end of the series. So thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audiences, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.